Good morning. Good morning, Stephen Lee. Whoa, I can hear myself. That's no good. I mean, I can hear myself too many times. There we go. That's better. All right. Good morning, Stephen Lee. First in chat, first of the day to win the internet. Congratulations. Your first duty, though, I say, is like changing the time in the world so that the sun moves so it's not directly in my eyes. Because I can't see anything right now. I'm getting my share of vitamin D right here from the sun this morning. Give it a couple minutes; it will move on. It's literally maybe a 5-minute period during the day, which happens to fall right when I go live right now. So it's all good. But Stephen Lee, thanks for being here first in the morning. We will package up the internet and get it emailed out to you. You're responsible for everything IP related until someone else wins it from you. But good luck with that. It's a big job. Laura, Terry, Abby. Good morning, Abby. Michelle, Ann, 80s Music Man. Good morning. Bernard, Pauline. Good to have you here. Let's see. Yep, the chat's working properly. Every day, I will tell you, every day I do something to try to make the stream just a little bit better. And sometimes I don't think you might notice because it's very small and it's just something that bugs me. but I made a tiny change with chat, and it's right here. You ready to see it? That's the change. That's all I did. I can slide up and down to the same position because at one point during the day, we're going to show a video that has what we call a lower third. I'm blind in my right eye right now, if you can't tell. It's like, I need shades. It has a lower third, and I don't want to cover it up, so I'm going to make it a little bit better so it doesn't just layer text over text. Golden Mom, I did see most of the Judge Doro interview. I know she wouldn't talk about the details about the case, which is what we wanted her to talk about, but it was super awesome to see her. She's an awesome woman. I hope she goes far in her career, and if she wants to, and also in her home life. Just amazing family. So it's a chilly 24.1 degrees Fahrenheit. That's an awfully precise temperature to be at in Utah. That's cold. It was 42. I had the window open this morning here in my office, but I had to close it because we have loud traffic. Let's see. I say let's see, but I can barely see. Hello, I'm in a courtroom, recovery addict. Mary Kay, what courtroom are you in? And which seat are you seated in? That's most important. Are you seated at a table? And if so, is it prosecution or defense? Weather Watch, it's true. We got to see the personal side of the judge that we didn't get to see during the court, but she's just an amazing woman. I'm even more impressed now than before. She's just really a wonderful asset to the community up there. Let's see. Did Mary Kay respond? What she says she's in the courtroom, right? Maybe just watching. 3 inches of snow on the sidewalk. What's snow? I haven't had 3 inches of snow in where I live for years. Hey, Lindsay, welcome. Like to shout out to so many of you who reached out to me on the burner phone last night. It was literally just blowing up. I'm not sure if Tag's here yet. But Tag shared a lot of stories and pictures as well, and I think she's shared some in Discord as well. But just awesome. Thanks for you guys reaching out and saying hi. Bella's saying, good morning, get ready for work, so I'm listening. Wonderful. Glad we can be here for your morning, Bella. We have another fun day of this trial out of Texas that we're going to follow. We need to get Recovery Addicts some sunglasses. I have some sunglasses, but they're out in the car. I actually found them metal detecting, as a matter of fact. They were Maui Jim glasses, which I think is a good brand. I'm not a sunglass aficionado. You know, I don't spend more money than whatever they cost at the gas station whenever I need sunglasses. But I think the Maui Jim glasses are pretty nice. Pike is finally closing. Defense up now. How long will jury take? Good question. Is the jury going to take as long as the rest of the trial took? Because they, you know, what are they? They're close to like 50 days, right? It's taken forever in that trial. I'm at the table on observation duty. All right. Well, do your duty properly. I'm sure you will. And let us know if anything exciting happens. Oh, wow. Gonna get hit with snow tonight and tomorrow. MB says, Recovered Heck, do you play that guitar? I do play that guitar. Maybe one day I'll play it for you. That is actually, that is the guitar I got in high school. Well, shortly after high school. I believe it was my sister's guitar, and my wife bought it from her and gave it to me. And so it's the guitar I learned on when I was in high school. So I'm very connected to that. Let's see. Make sure. Okay, so it looks like everyone's here. Toxic Stephen Lee. Karen, welcome. Okay, we've got an hour before court starts, and so I wanted to go back to something we didn't. And he's like, play the guitar, please. I have some songs. I've even written some songs. Maybe we'll make another channel for that. That, you know, it's bad enough that we already do metal detecting and true crime on the same channel. Throwing in amateur guitar hour at the same time might be a little much. But here's what we've got. I've got queued up some of the opening statements, the prosecution's opening statements in this trial, which is really insightful, because it really just stresses how important this 9-hour confession is in this trial. And if for some reason they're not able to get this confession in, which would mean that the defense is successful in these tactics, they're saying, hey, you did something wrong. There was a procedural error. It probably will have to be somewhere around, you know, the Miranda rights issue, or possibly how long the interview went. You know, 9 hours is a long time to be interrogating somebody. They basically say, hey, you broke him down. He finally confessed. You know, there's a lot of factors at play, and we'll hear all those in court. It was a good opening. Let me see if I can get it queued up here. Let's go here. All right. And, of course, I'm in the wrong spot. But I think I fixed that, too. Look, I'm way over here now. Okay, so let's... There we go. Let's go ahead and play it. It wasn't perfect, but it was an A for effort. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try. Give it a play.
Through the evidence, we will take you to those last moments. To those last moments of these women's lives. You will have one of the most important pieces of evidence in this case. The video recorded confession of Juan David Ortiz. You will have the ability to see, to hear, and to analyze for yourselves his confession about the murders. But that's not all. That's not all that the state will be bringing you. We will be bringing you crime scene evidence, which includes casings from the crime scene, projectiles taken from the victims, the jackets of the projectiles. We will be bringing you the murder weapon that was used in this case.
I've never heard them called jackets of projectiles.
The analysis and the experts and the ballistic reports and analysis that were done. You will hear from the experts that made the comparisons in this case. We will also bring you video evidence from the different locations that Juan David Ortiz visited around the time before and after the murders were taking place. Going in and buying beer, going in to use a restroom, and you will see in these videos his demeanor and his behavior as normal as anyone else's walking the streets. Walking in, buying his merchandise, walking in, going to the restroom. Nothing out of the ordinary. We will be bringing you autopsy evidence of all the victims, where the doctor will come and tell you and show you the injuries and the causes of death of each victim. We will bring you circumstantial evidence. All of this evidence that we will be bringing you, you will be able to see that we will be able to prove the crime or crimes, the scheme, and his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt as charged. This case, the evidence will show, is about a man who betrayed his badge. He betrayed his country. He betrayed his family.
Starts in 1 hour.
Community.
Well, about 50 minutes now.
Selfish needs.
We have 4 victims who passed away and
On
one who
September
survived.
the 3rd of 2018, on or about, he murdered by shooting in the back of her head Melissa Ramirez. We will take you through the evidence to Jeffries Road on the outskirts of Webb County, where her body was left, right where he shot her. On or about September the 13th of 2018, he killed Claudine Luera. And just like Melissa, 11 days later, 10 days later, he takes her near the area where Melissa was killed, the outskirts of Webb County, or of the city of Laredo, and shoots her in the back of the head. We will take you to the overpass at the 22-mile marker in Webb County, where on September the 14th, he murdered Guiselda Hernandez Cantu. And finally, we will take you on IH-35, the 13-mile marker, where he murdered Juan Ortiz. All of the crimes you will see, and the evidence will show the similarities and the scheme. You will see that all of the victims in this case worked in prostitution. The evidence will show that all of the victims had run-ins with the law. They had criminal histories. All of the victims suffered from substance abuse addiction. All of the victims were killed in the similar manner. Execution style, outskirts of the city of Laredo, either on the side of the road or in the shoulder, grassy part next to the road. And the last similarity and connection of all of these crimes was the gun. A 40 caliber HK government issued semi-automatic handgun with government issued ammunition.
I own that same gun. Not
all
his.
the murders, all part of the scheme.
The H&K USP.
All connected.
I don't think I can show it on the live stream.
The evidence will show that it was September the 14th of 2018 that Trooper Francisco Hernandez was putting gas there at the Valero when this woman runs up to him and he turns on his body cam. He's given instructions to take her to a station. He takes her to the station.
He just cut out like half an hour.
When she gets to the station,
he sat there for half an hour without doing anything.
Investigators are already working feverishly and diligently on this case. They're looking for the murderer of Claudine Loera and Melissa Ramirez. They're there. The Texas Ranger, Captain Calderon, will bring them to you. They get Erica to the station. This is Erica Peña. When she gets there, she begins the interview with investigators. She reveals
not sure why it's frozen there, but anyway, that gives you a little outline as far as what we can expect as far as the evidence run goes. To A, there we go. So yeah, so he's got Ortiz is facing. Why is that stopped? Don't know why. Okay, Ortiz is facing 4 counts for murder, right? And in addition, he's got 2 counts related to the last victim, who one for assault and one for unlawful restraining. The 5th victim who got away. So that's what he's facing. The worst possible outcome in this case is life in prison. The death penalty is not on the table for this. So we've got that coming up here in just a little bit. Let me go back and answer just a couple questions. First of all, color me abstract. You didn't quite overload my phone. I did. It did fill up quite a bit of it, but appreciate the artwork you sent in. Let's see. I was confused by the jackets. Yeah, I've never heard them called jackets. A bullet casing. Sometimes they're called shells. But casing's the correct word. But I've never heard them called jackets that way. But it seems like he was quite reckless. I mean, for being in the law enforcement sort of world, as Border Patrol is, for him to leave the casings at the crime scene and use his duty weapon at the crime scene, or not leave it there, but to use it to commit the murders, just bizarre. So Terry, this happened near you in your area. If there's any insight you can offer as we go through this, please, I'd love to hear about it, especially if it's geographical in nature, things like that, that can help us understand for those who haven't been to Laredo. The officer was assigned to Laredo area, large population, rather isolated from the most horrific cartel violence to the far west and far south. Matthew Harris says, KQD, in February of this year, the defense filed a motion to change venue to a new county. This is why we're in this Bayer County, why we're not just local to Laredo. I'm not sure the reasons why, but I can speculate it's due to local awareness. Small, low population in the area is my understanding, and a lot of information. I mean, it was on the front of everyone's mind. They have to get a jury that's impartial, right? And so in this case, you've got all the judge and the prosecutors and everything. You don't get the other county's prosecutors. Those guys travel to this county, to Bayer County, for the job, and that's what they're doing. Full Metal Jacket, not Full Metal Casing. All right, okay, you've got me there. But when they're talking about Full Metal Jacket, Ollie, they're actually talking about the outside layer of the projectile that flies. That's not the casing that's left on the ground. Full Metal Jacket is referring to a bullet that basically has a hardened exterior shell on it, as opposed to like a hollow point, which would have a hardened shell but an exposed tip that makes it mushroom better when it impacts a target. So that's what jacket is for. So I guess maybe that's where he got it. Military uses jackets. Terry was near the Green River Killer. Okay, sorry about that. I've been up in that area, Terry. Actually, was he the one that was caught at Fremont Lake? Does that sound right? Was he caught in the Fremont Lake area? Because I believe we were the scout group that was up there the week he was out. So that's where we were doing our camping. Family members in interview wanted life for the defendant and not the death penalty. Yes, Michelle, I saw that. They asked for life. And one of them even said that they hope he repents in prison, that he has a change of heart. You can tell that the family members have a strong faith-centered belief that believes that people can change, even people who've made very, very serious mistakes like this person is accused of doing. Laredo has a massive amount of incoming traffic because of I-35 Central USA location north and south. For the most part, cartels observe some kind of leniency south of the border. We've probably all lived nearby people who are heinous and committed crimes. It happens. Let's see here. Okay, so this is what we have coming up. Let me see how my face camera looks now. Oh, the sun's moved enough. The sun's moved enough so you can look at me without being blinded by the light. Still waiting for a live feed coming from Texas, which might be just a little bit. We're looking about 38 minutes before that comes on. Just checking all the different sources. We were watching Ken's 5, KSAT, Law and Crime. I think Law and Crime and KSAT are using the same feed, but all he says, some kind of leniency means they'll kill a person and maybe his family, but not the whole village or clans. Oh, that was awfully kind of them to not, murder anyone who happened to be breathing the same air as you. This was the defense motion, not the state's motion to transfer. As far as the change of venue. Oh, we're talking about, so the change of venue, could it be related to the funds available to the judicial district? Yeah, I don't think that would be an issue. I don't think it would be funds. Anyway, as we watch this trial, as we watch the defendant, Mr. Ortiz, he strikes me having very similar mannerisms to Matthew Terry out of the Florida trial we just watched, which is, it's sort of creepy, but he seems to be showing a little bit more reaction than Matthew Terry did, where when something is testified to on the stand, he'll shake his head if he doesn't agree, or if he feels something's wrong about what's happening. Whereas Matthew Terry would just tilt his head and do the little owl look, at you type thing. But interesting how that's going to go. So I'm super excited for this case. This is going to be another wild one. I've got to get my drink ready. Using the blue, my chroma key keys out the blue handle, so the handle's sort of gone. But trust me, it's there. I'm using the blue cup today, which is close enough to the green behind me that it's keyed out in this lighting. And just water, because it's healthier than... Here's your ASMR moment. Tasty water. All right, mind the laptop. I will. I'm being very careful. I'll keep that right over there. It's got its own spot. Casey and Anthony did the same thing, shaking her head. Worked for her, but again, a Florida jury. Right, this is a Texas jury. And every jury is different. You can't know for sure, but you've got some differences in this region that are different than what we've seen in Florida. But I think I wish I had been there for the voir dire for the seating of the jury would be just absolutely incredible to sit through and just get an idea of what we're facing. Who's on there? How many women are on the jury? You know, that would be fascinating to know, because these were all women who were targets. The cartels wipe out villages because that village works for the other cartel. Seriously, depriving one cartel of workers, it becomes almost Sicilian, except to the beheadings left in the roadways. Oh, man. Yeah. KQD, the Vallow Daybell case looks like the prosecution wanted to keep the case in Franklin County because of the expense of moving to Ada County. It's a long drive between the two, Franklin and Ada. I don't know how. What's the difference here? Maybe Matthew can tell me. What's the difference between venues here in this Texas trial? Is it like a 2.5 hour drive between the two? Because that is a long. I mean, everyone has to move. They probably just take a hotel for a week or two up in the other town. But wonder if he was in the military. Also, they both kind of had that posture. Yeah, they have that sit up straight. You know, the straight spine type look to them. And maybe that comes from police as well. Police has a lot of military type structure to it. What is the purpose of ASMR? I don't know, MB. Some people like to hear sounds, like sound effects, and hear them in stereo or, you know, in pristine silence. I'm not offering that here. I've got like a AC running and fans and all sorts of machinery that are making noise, but ASMR is soothing. Sorry. Recovery addicts. Curious as your thoughts on victim 5 testimony yesterday. Karen, that when she first started testifying, especially for the prosecution side, I wondered as well, is she on something type thing? But she says, hey, I'm taking methadone. We understand that methadone can have this type of effect. It does calm things for you. It reduces those triggers, as she said. It's sort of a numbing type effect in that way. But Sean, I'm glad I can make you smile. Anyway, regarding Karen's comment, it seemed a little slow, but I think she won the jury, even though she's got a criminal record that is extremely lengthy. I mean, involving everything from like terroristic threats to assault on an officer, felonies, you know, all sorts of drug. I'm not sure if she has any prostitution convictions, but she's open about that being a part of her life as well. Drug use, drug abuse, years of drug abuse. Just her child doesn't live with her, has to be cared for by another person. She's got like some baggage, as we might call it, but her openness and honesty about it, I think won the jury over. And so they can look at her and say, hey, she's being truthful about her past. And I believe she's being truthful about what she's testifying about. So obviously they can weigh that and determine how much weight to give that testimony because of her background. But I think her testimony for the prosecution side was very good. But then when she was under cross-examination, I think she did better. I think she presented better under cross than she did for the state. But that's what I thought about that one. It was believable to me. If you think otherwise, please do share. We'd love to talk about it. Matthew Harris says, San Antonio is a larger city in Texas and much more liberal. It isn't impossible, but it's less likely than in a conservative city. But so because death penalty isn't on the table, even in a more liberal area, I still think he's got a likely chance if convicted of, well, he will serve life in prison. I think if convicted, that's the minimum, right? And the maximum. I don't find it soothing when I can't hear someone, says Katrina. A lot of ex-military go into police work. Yeah, I haven't heard that he actually served or not. The new venue, Bayer, is about 150 miles away and about a 2-hour drive. So they probably just rented a hotel and everyone's up there for the week, because that's a long way to drive every morning and every night for a commute. Defendant was in the military, I think a Marine, in an interview. So that would explain the posture and his look, the match of sort of Matthew Terry look. Kelly says, I don't want the Vallow trial televised. I sleep with the fans, says Shauna. Fans are very soothing. I hated them for a while. I really hated the sound of a fan. I needed silence to sleep, but moved to North Carolina, where it's much cheaper to just run a fan than run AC, trying to cool the house, and I got used to a fan. Good morning from the mail truck, Seven. Hey, Seven, your month is about to get very busy, if it hasn't already, because we're all ordering mugs and everything else, gifts for each other, and for our families and friends and everything. And you alone have to do all the deliveries, being the lone mailman in the group. So good luck with that. Okay. Why, Kelly, why not the Vallow trial? I'm falling behind on the chat here. Sorry. Try to catch up. Because a circus, which is an issue. Lori Vallow would love that. She would love it being a circus, attention getting. But is that the same way that DB made it a circus? Is that? I mean, I think he loved that there was the chaos that he caused there, but the Judge Darrow was able to push through and get a result. My son is ex-military, so he has that posture. Now a civvy on base, so different attitude now. My husband has to bring a fan whenever we travel so he can sleep. Okay, so Karen says, regarding the testimony of the fifth witness, who was yesterday. Actually, the first witness, the fifth victim, this is the only victim that wasn't killed, says, I thought she did well. Difficult situation, appeared to look over to defend it often. Judge Darrow is a saint. Okay, so as we're getting set here, I'm just going to do one more scan. It takes me a second to make sure the live streams. Okay, I think we've got not a camera feed, but we've got a carrier feed, if you know what that is. When in the news world, you can connect digitally without sending an image and just send a carrier. So we have that already. So it's just a black picture right now, but it is plain. So as soon as a picture is sent from a camera, we'll be able to bring it up. Let's see if anyone else has one. Law and Crime has nothing. KSET also nothing. Okay. All right, so we're still waiting. It's half an hour. They've got time. Karen says, I sensed a fear of him still. Yeah, I think that was real. And I think had she not been on methadone, I think she would have been triggered being there. And by triggered, I mean possibly regarding her drug addiction. Just because of the intense feelings and the need for the relief that use of drugs psychologically provides. Lori's defense team supported the Judge Boise decision to exclude cameras. Are they not going to allow cameras in there? Man, that's going to be harder to follow then. 80s Music Man. I got distracted. I was looking at a video game. I'm back now. What game was it, 80s Music Man? I played a little video game last night. I live stream video games. Oh, looks like KSET might be coming around. Let's see what we got. Nope. On my TikTok page, which I know most of you probably aren't big into TikTok, but I stream games on the TikTok page just to keep the channel active. So I'll stream games once in a while, and I did that last night. I think Vallow is a real Black Widow. It was Call of Duty. All right, that can be distracting. I think I should put my creations on coffee mugs. Color Me Abstract, I think you could. You know, I will say this. As I was looking through some of your pictures, Color Me, it struck me the similarities or the style of similarities that have done very well as NFTs, non-fungible tokens in the Bitcoin world, in the cryptocurrency world, I should say. But it's interesting. You might be able to sell them digitally that way as well. Let's see, there's our burner phone number. Abby, thanks for putting that up. If anyone does want to send anything to the burner phone, you can do it day or night. It won't bother me. It does go straight to my voicemail, but I will check that periodically. And looks like Bella sent me the video link to Judge Darrow's interview as well. Thank you, Bella. Weatherwatch says, were you ever a Day of Defeat fan? Weatherwatch, I've been a Mac guy on computers for probably the last 10 years, even to the point where I did not own a PC. So it would have to be available on Mac, sort of like World of Warcraft was or something. That was the only game I really got into on the Mac. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, Laura. Thanks for joining us. We've got just under half an hour here. We're waiting for court to start in Texas. We're going to start with day 2 of the Texas v. Ortiz trial, commonly referred to as the Border Patrol serial killer. If I remember right, Chad's team wants cameras. They're also asking for a bill of particulars. So he wants cameras and she doesn't. They tried to separate. You can tell they are probably not on the same page anymore. My girls played hide and seek. I wanted to hide on my suitcases. Oh my goodness, Shauna. Yeah, don't hide in suitcases or coolers, ice chests, dryers, anything else. That scares me to death. I'm claustrophobic when it comes to that. Good morning from Yorktown Heights. I believe Cortez served 8 years in the military. Thank you, Joel. And it was that we're hearing he was in the Marines. Is that correct? Drug addicts get to a point where they're only using drugs to take care of their withdrawal and not about the high. Yeah, it becomes less effective over time. You have to use more and more to get the same effect, and eventually you're just using to get back to normal instead of using to get high. Ashley says, home again. I'm home now. Yay. Welcome, Ashley. I'm glad you made it safely. Still waiting for court to start. It's got a little bit, so we're just talking, shooting the breeze for just a little bit while we wait for the live feeds to come in. You need to do 100 lines for being late. And buys the coffees. Well, big penalty for Chandra this morning. You need to type 100 lines. This is the first time I've seen Scott's lips off sync from audio. Am I off sync? I can fix that. First of all, thank you for letting me know. Those are things that I'm able to fix. Let's see. I have to turn up the sound on another machine. This is the techie in me. Let's see if this fixes it here. I'm going to take my delay. I'm going to add it 8 milliseconds. How about now? Is that any better? Test 1, 2. Nope, good. All right, I had to add a little bit of delay, and now I hear myself after the fact in my ears. All right, synced fine over here, all good, wonderful. Matthew Harris comes in with a dad joke. Change your name to Justin Timberlake because now you're in sync. So now I'm hearing myself in my ears 5 milliseconds after I say it, which is really, really confusing. You're now slipping into an alternate universe. Close your eyes and relax. Okay, Matthew Harris. Great joke. Always appreciated. Dad jokes are welcome here. So, good. Okay, we have Lawn Crime has a video of the wall. We can look at that. That's it. Let me check a couple other sources. I like to have multiple sources coming in just so I can, switch off to another one if something goes wrong on the first. Your voice is like a 70 kung fu movie. Which movie? I might have to watch it. It reminds me of the Addams Family. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Okay. What happened with the trial? It's going on, Monica. It just starts in Texas a little later than the rest of us start. So we're waiting about 20 more minutes for trial to start. We're hoping for a hot mic. We've had several of them out of this trial already, even be able to overhear some of the internal deliberations at the defense table, which is wrong, I might say, but I love it. So we'll see where that goes. Try removing the sink and we'll see if it's fine. Okay, sink is gone now. Is that still okay? Because now I hear myself right when it happens. Still early in Texas. I haven't even had my coffee yet. I can. This works so much better for me. This really does. So maybe it was just someone else's live feed. Sorry, Ollie. Hopefully it's working. The trick is to do a page refresh. Well, it's good to know. Just from the techie side, just so you know, sometimes when you're converting video, let me show you what I've got working with here. When you're converting video from a camera to HDMI, it causes a little bit of delay. So one way I can fix that is bring the audio with the video instead of converting them separately. So if I needed to, I could just bring my audio through my camera, but then I lose the awesome sound effects in the sound box. So I'm glad it's working. Okay. Katrina says I only have 2 grandkids. They're done, so no more. I'm sorry, Katrina. Two is fun though. Spoil them rotten. Abby has 14. She says that is amazing. I don't have any grandkids, but I've got 6 kids, so I imagine eventually I'll have some grandkids. Canned Laughter said I had the sync issue, just backed out and reopened the live stream and it fixed. So it's YouTube's fault. Actually, it's Stephen Lee's fault because it's Stephen Lee who is responsible for the internet today. So go ahead and just send him a message. Shauna says, what was the face eater case or whatever that was? I missed it yesterday. Shauna, it was fast. It basically, instead of going to trial, they went straight to, I guess the prosecution and the state stipulated and said, yeah, he's guilty by way of not guilty by way of insanity. So he was found not guilty and ordered to a mental institution to be treated. And once he gets better, he'll be out with no conviction. It's bizarre looking at the evidence. I have a hard time seeing that this wasn't a fabricated mental condition caused by his drug use. A little rough language there, but they have not dismissed her, Monica. I know what you were talking about. The woman who was who testified first. Her name was Erica Pena, Pena. The prosecution said, we're done. Yeah, we can excuse her. And the defense said, no, we might recall her because there's something that's coming up that might be important. Let's watch Law and Crime here really quickly because I think they're showing some courtroom feed. Grandkids are good. You can hand them back. True Celtic says, did I get punted from the chat for something? Did you get booted? Not that I know of. I haven't seen you on the naughty list, True Celtic. I can see you now, if that makes any difference. Delphi has requested a change in venue. They've already got a new judge. And is there a change of venue since that? I mean, obviously the venue is going to be mostly the jury is what they're trying to change, but yeah, and then the family read all of his drug texts in the morning. Monica, that we tried to cut into that without any warning the other morning, and it did not go well. I actually had to delete that live stream because we jumped in at all the wrong times during the reading of his texts, and it was pretty bad. The woman with the language on the face eater was the sister of deceased, right? And she was reading the defendant's texts back and forth to friends, and it was eye-opening, to say the least.
The Honorable Judge Oscar Hale Jr. presiding.
They're 15 minutes early, so we might have some business to conduct here.
And state ready?
State is ready.
Defense ready?
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Medina, we have all jurors present?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and bring them in.
All rise to the jury.
Okay, he's starting early. He really is starting early. Okay, let me see if I can switch to a different stream here. There we go. Trying to get all the streams working at the same time. That live stream was a beautiful mess. I was dying laughing. Tiffany, I was mortified. As soon as I'd unmute the audio, she's dropping some extremely descriptive crude
morning,
language. It was awful.
Everyone in. Right. You may be seated.
Can turn the audio up just a little bit because they have a tendency to walk away from the microphone, and so that means the witness is going to be loud. But
like
I
I
want to be
said,
able to hear
yesterday
the
we're
prosecution.
likely to go until about 5:30 today at the latest, and we'll have a lunch break. I'll just say this at the appropriate time. We'll see where the witness is at that time. Mr. Alanis, you want to call your next witness, sir?
Your Honor, the state calls John Henry Bradshaw.
John Henry, what a great name. It's almost like a John Hancock. Is he wearing the same shirt as yesterday? His eyes are empty.
Good morning, sir. Can you raise your right hand, please?
Not yet.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do
Can
you
you
solemnly
raise
swear
your
the
right
testimony
hand?
you're going to
Not
give
yet.
during this trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. You may take a stand.
Ty caught on the microphone there. Yet normally they do sit on different sides.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
But I
My
think it's
name
just
is
tradition.
Isidro Alanis. I am the district attorney for Webb and Zapata, and I will be asking you some questions this morning, okay?
Yes, sir.
Just do me the favor of
Sorry, 80s.
scooting up, speaking into the mic.
Let's do all of us the favor of
Loud
talking
and
into the
clear,
microphone,
okay?
please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the record?
My name is John Henry Bradshaw.
Okay. And how are you employed?
I work for the Texas Department of Public Safety as a trooper.
Okay.
This
How
might be the
long
guy
have
who
you
got
been
her a
a
shirt.
trooper?
Since September 11th of 2016, about 6 years.
6 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you certified by the state of Texas?
Yes, sir.
As a peace officer?
Yes, sir.
And what are your current duties and responsibilities?
Currently, we enforce traffic and license and weight, emergency management, combat terrorism, cross investigations, DWIs, stuff like that.
Combat terrorism
And
and
where are you
DWIs, that's a
assigned?
wide spectrum.
What's
Currently in Laredo.
Laredo, Texas, okay. Now, were you assigned in Laredo back on September the 15th of 2018?
Yes, sir, I was.
Go ahead and if you can take us back to that day and tell the jury what happened while you were on duty.
We were on a special operation at the time, Operation Secure Texas, which is a border operation. And throughout that operation, we had immediately received a text message from our chain of command stating that we were to abandon Operation Secure Texas and to go into the city to assist in a bolo of looking for Juan David Ortiz.
When you say BOLO,
Yes.
please explain that to the jury.
Bolo is the
Beyond the
acronym
Look-
for Be on the Lookout.
Okay. So, more or less, at what time would this have occurred?
I would say, it's been a few years, but I would say approximately 10:30
Okay.
when we first got the message.
This was like 4 years ago, right?
So, what were the contents of the BOLO?
In the bolo, we had the license plate for Juan David Ortiz, along with his driver license photo.
Thank you, Matthew, for
Are
the
there-
pin message.
when you receive a
Appreciate this.
BOLO, are there any other advisories or information or warnings on that BOLO?
Yes, depending on the circumstances. In this circumstance, they said to be careful because he was possibly armed and dangerous.
Okay. And what does that change things for you as a trooper?
Yes, it heightens the level of safety and precaution and training that we use on the particular subject.
Okay.
I like how fast he responds.
Okay. Do you remember who issued the BOLO?
Initially, it was from Texas Ranger E.J. Salinas, and then it came through our chain of command from Captain Lieutenant on down.
Okay. All right, so let's fast forward a little bit into that evening. Explain to ladies and gentlemen jury what you were doing in the execution of your duties.
Yes. So once we got the bolo to be on the lookout to go look for Juan David Ortiz, I used my training experience based on the facts that I knew at the time and the type of women he was targeting. So I went to the area in Laredo where these women would hang out, and I was patrolling that area.
There's a certain
As
street.
I was going south on San Bernardo, I looked over to my left
That's
and I
San
see
Bernardo.
the white Dodge pickup that matched the description of possibly Juan David Ortiz's vehicle. I made a left onto Jefferson into the parking lot. I pulled up behind the white Dodge vehicle. I confirmed the license plate. I ran it in my in-car mobile CAD. It did come back to Juan David Ortiz. I saw Juan David Ortiz exit the vehicle, and I knew it was him based on the driver license photo. And he entered the convenience store. I wrapped around to pretend to pump gas, and I called for backup immediately.
Do you remember more or less at what time this occurred?
I do not recollect exact time.
No, but an approximate time. Is it 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock? 12 o'clock?
Probably close to midnight, a little before or after.
So he went back to that same street where the prostitutes.
So you
frequented.
actually see him. Do you explain to the jury? You catch a glimpse of him from his back walking in.
No, as I'm going southbound on San Bernardo, I'm glimpsing, scanning side to side, and I see a white Dodge pickup that matches it. I pull into that. I pull into Jefferson to get into the parking lot, and then as I'm running the plates, I see him exit the passenger vehicle, and he's facing me, not directly, but facing me enough for me to see his face as he was walking into the store.
Okay.
This is bizarre. He went back to the same street. It's like he planned on killing someone that night. He was going to get somebody anyway, maybe? I don't know.
So you take a position near the gas pumps.
Yes, sir.
Being that you received that advisory on the armed and dangerous, what actions, if any, do you take?
For us, per training, we take the highest level so that it becomes a felony stop.
Felony stop means that
And
they
what
draw
is, a
guns
felony
when they
stop?
approach.
A felony stop is anybody that's committed a felony or higher that's likely to endanger us.
Okay.
So
But
we take
if-
extra precaution.
Extra precaution
Okay.
means guns already drawn.
And what are those extra precautions?
Once we are able to see the subject, we give him commands to put his hands in the air, to turn around, to put him in a position of disadvantage, to get him on his knees or on his stomach, and then we'll try to take him into custody.
Okay, that was your plan.
Yes.
As part of your felony stop procedures, what type of force are you going to initially utilize?
Initially,
Deadly.
just command, passive.
Okay, is it it's verbal?
Yes, it's verbal.
But
Do
they have their
do
gun
you
drawn.
Deploy any of your tools, weapons that
In the beginning, no.
Okay, so at this point in time, where
That's
is
not how
your-
I was
your-
trained.
Your sidearm.
It's in my holster.
Okay. And based on your training experience, at what point in time are you going to take out your sidearm and point it at a subject?
Only when possibly deadly force is authorized.
Okay. In this particular case, did you at any time take out your sidearm towards and point it at Mr. Ortiz?
The sidearm, no. I deployed my AR style rifle that was issued to me.
Okay. Okay. So you
So
back
he
me
got
up.
out of the
then.
car
with
Let's
that
back up. How did you then explain to the jury how you got your rifle?
So once I pulled into the gas station, just because I knew I parked a great ways away, a rifle is better used for a longer distance just in case anything were to happen. So as I parked, I deployed my AR rifle and I got a position of advantage and waited for backup.
Okay.
Right. So, but he said I just used words and didn't draw
At
my
this
gun.
point in time,
that
where
caught me off
is
guard.
the
I'm like,
subject?
that's not a felony stop.
He's in the convenience store.
Okay. Does your backup already arrive while he's in there?
It takes him about, I would say maybe 10 seconds most. He arrives, I inform
I have
him
in traffic
where
court.
he's at and that this is his vehicle. He's inside the store.
I was really nervous.
All right. So walk us through what happened.
So at that point, I go back to my position of advantage and Trooper Obregon gets ready. He's preparing to get his sidearm as well. Then Juan David Ortiz exits the vehicle, and as soon as he exits, I give him commands to put his hands in the air and to turn around.
You said vehicle. You mean store?
Yes, as he exited the store. Sorry. And as he exited the store, I gave him commands to put his hands in the air and to turn around.
Okay, so tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what does Ortiz do when he sees you and when you give him these initial verbal commands?
At first, he questions. He says, "Well, why were we there? What's going on?" I give him commands again to put his hands in the air and to turn around. He's questioning again. What's the reason for it? At this point, me and my partner are speaking over each other. My partner asked me to not speak so he can negotiate, or to speak with Juan David Ortiz. So I lowered my voice so he can speak with him clearly, so we wouldn't talk over each other.
Okay. And what is your partner doing?
He's trying to de-escalate at the time and get him to comply, and he's informing them of the reason why we are there and why we're looking for him.
What is Ortiz doing all this time?
He's kind of backtracking. At one point, he starts patting himself down and pretending, "Hey, don't back up, turn around," and then eventually he turns around and takes off running southbound towards Jefferson.
So when you first encounter him, he doesn't stand still. He's moving.
No, he's fidgeting. He's moving around.
Okay. At this point in time, do you see a weapon?
No, but I'm conscious since it was armed and dangerous, and then based on my training experience, he was patting himself, possibly looking for something, and that heightened.
I'm going to object to non-responsive and narrative.
Okay, ask your next question. Wait for the next question, sir.
Just wait for the question. He runs
Yes,
southbound.
southbound towards Jefferson.
Okay. Along the expressway.
No, he southbound towards Jefferson, then eastbound on Jefferson, and then southbound on the frontage.
So he runs on Jefferson towards the access road.
Yes.
That would be San Dario.
He seems calmer
Yes, on
now.
the Rio.
And then
Now
south
that's-
towards the
Now
hotel.
that's going on.
Yes. And then west on Constantinople, and then
Constantinople.
south on San Bernardo.
What do you do at this time? I mean, are you behind him, or tell us the rest?
Yes,
of
at
the
this
story?
time, as soon as he runs for me, I immediately chase after him. I'm on foot, chasing him with my rifle. He gets down, so we go down Jefferson, then we go down the front Santa Ursula, I believe it's called. And then once we turn onto Constantinople, I transition from my rifle to my taser to try to get him to stop. I deployed my taser twice, but it was ineffective due to the distance between us.
And he
Tasers
gets
have
away
a
from
limited
you.
range
He gets
because the
away.
prongs have to be attached to the gun.
What at this point, if anything, do you do?
So we continue on the foot chase, and then we go down San Bernardo. As we're going down San Bernardo, I see him take a sharp left into an open area. At that point, I come to a stop. Based on our training, we cut the pie. We don't take 90-degree angles by ourselves or abruptly,
We
just
cut
for
the
safety
pie.
purposes. So I waited for my partner to cut that pie. That's what we call turning the corner.
So when you get to that 90-degree turn on San Bernardo and Constantinople, you don't take that. You don't walk around that corner.
And yes, on that one, down Constantinople, we go down San Bernardo. He goes into an open area to possibly a parking garage or a fenced area. At that 90-degree angle, we took it together.
Gotcha. Oh, what am I exhibits am I on?
Thank you for catching that. I'll fix it. Let me make sure I get it spelled correctly. Okay, I fixed it on the stream. Thank you.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 19.
Yes, sir.
You familiar with
This is a different
DVD?
officer.
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It's a DVD footage video of the Stripes and Jefferson Corner interaction.
Okay. Have you viewed the contents of this DVD?
Yes, I have.
And do the contents accurately depict
Did you
what's
view them last
contained
night?
within the DVD?
Yes, sir, it does.
And does it accurately depict the events
that you were involved in on September the 15th of 2018?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay, so yesterday they had it.
What is this right here?
That's my initials in cursive, JB.
Okay.
Yesterday they had some issues with DVD not being.
We'll have an opportunity to view this and have no objection.
That was 18, right? Yep.
Yeah, they had some objections on the previous one because the officer wasn't sure what was on the DVD. Did a much better job bringing that DVD into evidence.
State's Exhibit 19 will be admitted into evidence this time.
Can we publish it, Your Honors?
Yes, sir.
Slice the pie. Makes me hungry thinking about that. Little pumpkin pie, little whipped cream on top, maybe apple pie with ice cream. Mm-mm.
Yes, sir. 19.
Thank you, Ollie. I appreciate the correction. I have corrected it on the title. Roll that beautiful baked bean footage. Wonderful name. Thanks for being here. Let us know if you've got any input that you can share that will give us some more insights into this with you being from the area, so to speak. This is a different guy. The first guy was the man at the. Oh, let's see. Let me take this other feed here. KSAT's giving us a feed of the video footage at the same time, so I want to pull that one up.
What are we looking at?
We're looking at the surveillance video from the Strides parking lot.
Okay.
You just need one audio, not both of them. And now we're back to just the one. I'll give you both.
Please indicate when you appear, if
feeds.
you appear on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Give you both feeds when they're different, because they're different.
And
cameras
also,
that
please
provide
indicate
these.
if Mr. Ortiz appears on the screen.
Yes, sir.
We're filming a TV monitor, which is why it looks as bad as it does. Probably in the courtroom it looks better than this. You don't have the glare of the courtroom off the screen and things like that. So the jury's probably seeing it much better than we can see right now.
That's me initially going northbound on 35.
Heather, welcome.
That's
We're
northbound on San Bernardo.
we're in
Northbound
the
on
Texas
San
v.
Bernardo.
Ortiz case,
Correction, sorry.
Border Patrol serial killer case.
I don't remember the video being this blurry.
I don't remember the video being this blurry, he says. So maybe they're not seen as good as, maybe they see exactly what we see. So this video, this is a video of when they were doing the bolo, be on the lookout. They were searching for Ortiz's truck, and they find it here at this convenience store. This is a different footage from when the victim ran to the DPS. I believe it's a different convenience store. This is on San Bernardino, the Boulevard, I believe. Kay Dunlap, we have seen parts of that. We're super excited for her. She's amazing. I was hoping she would spill more beans about DB, but great video. If you haven't watched it, do go watch it, everybody. Yeah, they got started a little bit early, about 15 minutes ago. We were expecting about 9 o'clock start, or 10 o'clock start here on the East Coast, but they started early, which we're fine with. They're going to go to about 5:30 local time, so we should get a full day of testimony. We're really moving through stuff as long as we don't have this video up, because for some reason whoever trimmed these videos down did not trim it down to the important parts. We watched like the entire day's surveillance video for like the 3 seconds somebody walks across the screen. Monica, yes, the accused is accused of only murdering prostitutes, drug addicts. He thought he was cleaning up society by doing so. The fifth victim got away, and that's why he was caught. The video we're watching now came from the same day that the fifth victim got away, shortly afterwards, probably within an hour or two of her escaping. Lori, have fun at Hobby Lobby. Spend all the money. That's what happens when you go to Hobby Lobby, right?
Give us a heads up when you're going to pull in.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're waiting for the trooper's vehicle to pull in behind, a ways away from the truck, Ortiz's truck. And I'm not sure which vehicle's Ortiz's. I don't know if it's that dark one. I thought he had a white one. This is a complete miscarriage of justice to be able to have to watch 5 minutes of nothing happening on a security camera video. It should actually be a crime.
Your Honor, with the court's permission and the agreement by defense, can we
Fast
fast forward
forward.
to the relevant time?
There's no objection? You may.
All of us appreciate that. Mags, I think I corrected the spelling of the name. At least I did on my copy. It might update with you refresh your screen.
Right there.
All right.
But I appreciate the heads up.
Okay. Now, if you could walk us
I've got one more place to correct it. Here we go.
So after reviewing this video, that it's Juan David Ortiz's white Dodge pickup pulling in, and shortly after I passed southbound on San Bernardo. It should be coming up pretty soon.
If you could speak into the mic loudly, please.
Oh,
We can hear
sorry.
you.
So Juan David Ortiz's vehicle has already pulled in. That's my vehicle at the light. I just turned westbound to Jefferson, and I'm pulling into the gas station parking lot.
What are you doing right here?
Right here, I'm pulling up behind them to determine if the license plates match. So I'm running them in my mobile CAD system. At that same time, I'm seeing Juan David Ortiz exit his vehicle and walk into the store.
Does he didn't turn and look at you?
Not that I noticed. I think he was just focused on entering the store. And then I pulled into the gas station to pretend to pump gas while I called for immediate backup.
Pretend to pump gas. Works every time.
Does he in fact enter the store?
Yes, he does.
What are you doing at this time?
I'm preparing my DPS AR rifle.
So he's not pumping
and
gas. He's
taking
grabbing
a
his
position
gun.
of advantage on the opposite side of my engine block, pointed at the store.
The
And
engine block's one of the
Obregon just
few
pulled up.
items on the vehicle will actually stop a bullet.
Does Obregon know what's going on?
Yes.
Okay,
then
now
Juan
what's
Da-
happening here?
And Juan David Ortiz just exited the vehicle. As soon as he exited, I told him to put his hands in the air and to turn around.
Exited the store.
What was that?
He exited the store.
Yes, he exited the store.
We've made that mistake before.
While we're giving him these commands, he was questioning us, asking what's going on, what's happening. I believe he stated he didn't know what was going on. We tried to give him commands, and we saw him slowly stepping to the left. And then, as Trooper Obregon's giving him commands after I allowed him to speak, he informs them of the reason why we're there and why we're looking for him. And then shortly after, he turns and takes off running. And there.
Turn, and run.
And then me and Trooper Obregon chase after him.
What trooper was running first, sir? Was that you?
Depending on your advantage, I'm the one on the left. Trooper Obregon is the one on the right. And eventually, I took the lead.
You passed up Obregon?
Yes.
So he pretends to pump gas, but really he's running on
Did you
the other
have
side of the
your,
car
body
grabbing his
cam,
AR.
Deployed?
I did have my body cam, but it was eventually knocked off by my AR. When we went back to look for it, the Stripes employee that you just saw on the screen informed us that the 18-wheeler tanker had ran over it and it was destroyed.
An 18-wheeler ran over your
Yes, sir.
camera.
I've never
Yes,
heard that.
I believe you watch the rest of the video, you can see the 18-wheeler pull up.
Oh man,
What about
a semi ran over my body
Javier?
cam.
His body cam was working and it was eventually submitted.
approach? Your Honor?
Yes. The witness?
Yourself.
Okay. A little bit of a consultation at the bench here. Wonder what they're going to be talking about. Somebody's in front of the camera, so. All right, so the sun was in the semi-driver's eyes when he was being chased by a dog. That goes my excuse story. And knocked off by my AR. You know, that I can see. Because when you're running, if you're carrying, and this applies to whether you're playing airsoft or using the actual firearm. Typically, I don't encourage running with a firearm. But when you're running, you're holding it away from, if you hold it away from your body, it puts you off balance. So you have to hold it up against your chest. You sort of tuck that weight in to keep your center of gravity balanced. It makes it easier to run. And that body cam is just clipped to your shirt. It's not like sewn in. It's not like a permanently attached. But it's clipped to the shirt. So you're running, the gun's bouncing, and it can very easily just knock that off and it falls to the ground. So the story holds up. It passes the sniff test for me. But what are the odds that a semi-truck just runs over your body cam? And I wonder if the storage was able to be recovered if the chip wasn't destroyed. Tag says, I sent pics of my Poland days to Recovery Addict last night so you all can have fun looking. Yeah, I've got those. I'm not sure when we can share them. I'm not going to share them in the middle of a live stream here, but maybe on a Saturday, Tag might be able to do that. She shared some great stories as well about her time over in Poland. This few times I was pretending to do stuff because I thought some group of kids were up to no good. So you've done that before. Have you pretended to pump gas? Oh, it looks like we're coming back here.
State Exhibit 18 will be admitted into evidence.
Okay.
So
He's very alert.
when he takes a left on San Bernardo, is he in your sight?
After the pursuit, like the final left onto San Bernardo, is that what
Correct.
you're asking? Yes, he's in my sight.
Yeah. Those GoPros, they really
Do
stick
you
out.
turn the corner and see him run up the ramp?
I do not. At that point, I wait based on my tactical training. Like I said, we cut the pie as a team, and I waited for Trooper Obregon.
So is there another structure before the parking lot ramp?
Yes, so directly next to that parking garage ramp, there's a fence, and that goes into, I believe it was an abandoned property at the time.
So there's two possibilities of where he's at.
Exactly.
Okay. And you hold off
Yes.
for backup.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Right. If somebody's going to run it over, please have it off me when it gets run over. I'm with you on that, KQD.
Okay. Man, approach.
Yes, sir.
We are back, Vix. This is going to be a good trial. I can't wait, especially when we get to the testimony. 9 hours of testimony. 9 hours of interrogation. I'm sure we're not going to watch the entire thing. We've already been able to fast forward through some security camera footage, so I'm sure we can fast forward through some of the interrogation.
Trooper Bradshaw.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you this USB that's marked as States Exhibit 20.
Yes, sir.
Showing you a
Familiar with this
USB.
USB?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know you're familiar with it?
That was shown to me, and I verified the contents of it, and I initialed it.
These are your initials?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what are the contents of this USB?
It's an aerial view of the route of the foot pursuit we had.
Okay. It's a satellite view
Yes.
of the actual route that you took,
Yes.
which will assist the jury
In-
in your location in Laredo, Webb County, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Is he wearing a nice Rolex? Rich, I'm going to have to rely on your eyes to spot that.
It's a satellite.
It's like it's a USB.
It's taken from Google. Google Earth shows the right?
No objections.
And that's Exhibit 20, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're offering it? State's exhibit number,
State's Exhibit 20.
it will be
Permission to publish.
admitted into evidence at this time, yes. You may publish.
Why would it be done that way and not printed out? I guess because they display everything on the big screen behind the judge. Hey, Patty, that technology is not far off. Some systems do automatically upload. Not immediate, but it's a possibility. Let's switch to our other view just so we can see when it comes up here. So here we have Google Earth. I'm going to take... This audio is going to be confusing just for a second here. Just one second.
Judge, with the court's permission, can Trooper Bradshaw approach the screen to show?
You may, sir.
You have a pointer? Either one here and bring mine.
Okay. Trying to hear what's happening here. This is the better video. I'm going to turn this one off and go back to the other audio, though.
You can step in here. Up towards you?
So we're mixing and matching audio, so it's going to be off by just a slight bit.
Pointer. It looks like it does work, Your Honor.
Oh, there you go.
You see this?
Yeah.
It's a red button. Can you
Or you want to come around this way?
come over here, Trooper? Trooper, come over here, please.
Yeah.
And point the laser.
This is very difficult for them to run this. It's like, how are we going to do that? Okay, we got a laser pointer on the screen. You guys see that? The red laser pointer?
More or less.
That's what we're watching for.
Right here. This is the sweet spot right here. Come on. Stand right here.
Shauna, I need to fix this so that your text shows up.
Please show the jury
But thank you so much for the super
where
chat.
we're at and orient us as to your locations.
So this is the eventual layout of the foot pursuit, but this right here is San Bernardo and Jefferson, and this is the stripes where I encountered Juan Ortiz.
Is that red dot coming out?
Yes, sir.
I'm not seeing it.
We don't see it. It's on the top.
Nobody can see the red light. We need a brighter laser.
Oh, they can't see it.
Yeah, 'cause I can't see it either. So
Yeah.
if you need to step up here, sir,
Yeah.
you can come this way. Mr. Ruiz, can you escort him here? I don't know. We can figure out how to open this later. It might be from the buttons on the back. There you go.
Yes, so this is San Bernardo.
So we have a ruler now.
And this is the stripes where I encountered Juan Ortiz.
Okay. Okay. Describe the streets first of all the streets at the.
The route that he took?
Yes.
So this is gonna be Jefferson, down Furnace Road, Santa Ursula. And this is eventually the area that we're talking about where we didn't know if we went up the ramp or the abandoned property.
Can you orient us as to north, south, east, and west?
Yes, so from the stripes, we went on to Jefferson, we went eastbound, and then we went southbound onto Santa Ursula Frontage Road, and then we went westbound onto Constantinople, and then back southbound on San Bernardo, where he took another left eastbound, but not exactly sure if we went up the ramp or to the abandoned property.
Okay. So it's really cool technology just doing the aerial view from Google. But I think they lost something on just not being able to run the tech.
35 on this photo.
This is IH-35 and this is his frontage road.
So now we're dizzy.
Right there, stop and turn. This is a probably a better view.
Yes.
Please indicate to us the streets again.
So this is gonna be San Bernardo and Jefferson.
San Bernardo is the street that he would
when you
pick up the
spot-
prostitutes on.
Ortiz's vehicle, in what direction are you traveling when you see it?
I'm traveling southbound, and then I
left.
I take a left onto Jefferson from San Bernardo. And
Suzanne,
pull into the
yes,
parking
we
lot,
do ship
right in this
internationally.
direction.
Where was his vehicle parked?
in one of these two parking spots over here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Speaking of mugs, it's time to have a drink here.
Okay, where does this show us now?
So this shows us at the intersection of Jefferson and Santa Ursula, or Frontage Road. Then we continue on southbound until we hit the intersection of Santa Ursula, Frontage Road.
Yeah, don't look at the screen
And
for a while.
Johnson
We're
Street.
going to be
Continue. Are you
spinning.
indicating the foot
Yes,
chase?
we're continuing on in the foot pursuit. I'm still chasing after him.
So show me with the ruler the path you're taking.
So we're running either, I don't know exactly where he's at, but I'm running on the highway down the street southbound, and then I take this right hand turn down to Constantinople.
A lot of our cities are laid out in sort of a north, south, east, west grid system, which makes it useful. We also have a lot of
Show
landmarks,
us. Continue on.
And
mountains and
then as
things
we're
that
coming down
UK
Constantinople,
doesn't
about
have
halfway,
in
I try to
in the
deploy my
cities.
taser twice to no avail. I switch back to my AR rifle, and then we both make this turn from Constantinople to San Bernardo southbound, and then as we approach this open area, I didn't know what it was at the time, but the garage or abandoned property, he takes a sharp left.
Yes, but when you take that left there on that corner,
Yeah.
you lose sight of him for a few seconds.
No, I'm still behind him. I lose sight of him shortly after he makes this turn.
But when he makes
has about like 20 feet on me, so when he makes that turn, I lose sight of him as he's turning, and I'm catching up.
earlier, you testified that there was a fence that you weren't sure if he would have jumped into a property or gone up the ramp. Where would that fence have been?
Directly next to the parking garage. So as the parking garage goes up, that fence goes all along its border.
The abandoned property that you made reference to, where is it on this video?
It's this abandoned property. I believe it's the whole thing, but this is where I suspect that he may have jumped this fence into this area.
Hey, Tag, I
And-
actually
and was
have
that area
3
lit?
different colors of burning
No,
lasers.
it was dark.
It was abandoned.
Yeah.
They would be
And
able to see him in the
it looks
courtroom.
like, well, there's a bunch of trees in there. It's a dark
A
place.
bunch of trees, leftover junk, stuff like that. So it was hard to see.
Yeah.
The only thing that was lit was the parking ramp.
He was
At that point
staring
in time,
down
you made
the wrong end of
decision
an
not to
AR-15, and he
pursue
turned and
into
ran.
The abandoned property or the ramp. You wait for.
Yeah. Just
for
for the
back.
fear if we bypassing him and he ends up behind us.
Okay.
Hey, Jojo, you didn't miss a ton. This is only the 3rd witness. So we're still just building the prosecution's case here.
Okay, what are we seeing here then? That was the last image of the ramp.
It was the ramp all the way to the platform, and then it goes into the parking garage.
Okay, thank you. Have a seat.
When I'm innocent, I often run from law enforcement also. Doesn't everybody when you're innocent? Monica, it's freezing up. Try refresh. It seems to be going out properly on my side.
If your partner, Javier Obregon, also had a body cam.
Yes, sir.
He did.
Yes, sir.
Are you on that body cam?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 21. Have you viewed this video?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and what does this video depict?
The events that happened that night between me, Trooper Obregon, and Juan David Ortiz.
Including video and audio of your commands
Yes, sir.
to Juan David Ortiz,
Yes, sir.
from the vantage point of officer to subject.
Yes, sir.
Why does it seem like every time they
The witness,
So this is
subject
brand
to
new
this
evidence.
Body cam is going to testify afterwards. So on the conditional admissibility, we have no objections, Your Honor.
Conditional upon him testifying.
Yes, Your Honor.
So State's Exhibit 21 is admitted into evidence at this time.
Okay, more body cam footage. Any bets on how much unrelated footage we have to watch? I think this one's going to be short. I really do. Be safe, Shauna. There's some nasty storms coming, so please stay safe. Yeah, he's not winning the jury over yet, I don't think. I will say that the gun they issue is a very nice gun. The 40 caliber H&K USP is a very nice firearm. I really enjoy shooting mine. Yeah, that's 2.5 rulers.
That's his truck right there. He walked inside.
He walked inside?
Yeah.
3845. I'm with Bradshaw. Making contact.
Alright, 10-4, bro.
Goes around to pretend to pump gas. Really, he's just grabbing his AR. It's in a lockbox in the back.
Where is it?
Put your hands up! Turn around! Turn around! Turn around! Turn around!
Whose voice is that?
That's my voice.
What did you just say?
I asked him to put his hands in the air and to turn around.
And you're screaming these commands.
Yes, sir.
Hands up, turn around.
Yeah.
What's he doing at this moment?
Kind of shocked, I would say, at the time, and just kind of like fidgeting.
Stop right there. Stop. 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 Is this your truck? Is this your truck? Okay. All right. Turn around. Turn around.
Get on your knees!
Turn around. I'll explain to you right now. Turn around.
So they've got conflicting.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to explain to you. Okay, Bradshaw, I'm going to do the talking.
I'm going to do the talking.
Okay.
They are given sort of
Whose voice
conflicting
is that?
commands.
That's Trooper Obregon.
Okay. What is the response that Ortiz says? Did you
What was
hear-
that?
Did you hear Ortiz's response?
Eventually he said, I don't know what's going on. I believe he says I'm scared or something like that.
Rewind it and play it one more time. I want you to listen
Yeah.
to his response. All right, can we open it another player? Because this format is not responding.
Usually you use
Take
VLC
take us
to play.
a second.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So they're changing the software they're using to read the drive. I haven't seen, but they do seem to all be sort of the same. I'm not sure if it's a general law enforcement pin.
Turn around! Turn around! Turn around! Turn around!
Stop right there. Stop. 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 Stop.
So one guy's yelling
Is this
stop,
your
one's
truck?
saying turn
Is this your
around.
truck? Okay. All right. Turn around. Turn around.
Get on your knees!
Turn around. I'll explain to you right now. Turn around. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna explain to you. Okay, Bradshaw, I'm gonna do the talking. All right, sir. We got a positive ID with some. This truck right here is matching with the potential, with the murders that's been happening within the past 2 weeks. We wanna do an
He's
interview.
shaking
We
so
wanna do some
badly.
questioning. We just need for you to cooperate with us. Okay? All right. Fine. make my way, just turn around and make my way this way, okay? Turn around. Just turn around. Turn around, please. Turn around. Hey, 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 hey.
This is the body cam that didn't fall, obviously, and get run over.
Where are you in relation to Obregon right now?
I'm in front of him.
You're in front of him already?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Ortiz is taken off on foot?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Not sure which one's better. I'll let you see both of them. This is the corner he stops at.
Oh, shit. Watch out.
Okay, what's happening right here?
So we're making our final turn onto San Bernardo, and I see Juan David Ortiz is quite distance ahead of me, and then he'll finally make this left turn to that abandoned property garage platform area.
Is that you in the front with a light on your?
On my rifle, yes.
You have a light on your rifle,
Yes, sir.
and it's on.
Yes.
Watch out. Where's he at, bro? I don't got it. You don't have it either? Ready? Okay. Bro, I got it. No, bro. He went inside here. He's in here.
Tag.
Obregon's pointing his flashlight at that fence, right? Thinking
Yes, sir.
he's gone into that abandoned property.
Yes, sir.
And you were already thinking of going up that ramp.
Yes, we were indecisive at that moment.
The gear he's wearing, the radio,
Being
the gun,
these
the
both
handcuffs,
scenarios,
everything.
what
That's
do you all
what's-
decide to
what
do?
sounds like a spray can.
I make the call
Can
to
be
block
shaken.
off that block, and we quarantine. I mean, the quarantine. We surround that area with local PD until we can clear both areas.
What law enforcement agencies responded? Was it Laredo PD or Webb County Sheriff's?
It was Laredo PD, Webb County Sheriff's Office, DPS, and then eventually the Texas Rangers.
Hey, wait.
They have some bright flashlights. You think that's a
That's the
Surefire
abandoned
brand?
property you're making
Yes, sir.
reference to? Okay. It looks like it's unkept with tall grass. And
Yeah, and as we knew at the time, it was unlivable.
It's an adrenaline rush. They don't pace themselves in these foot pursuits. They're trying to get them. You know, it's a sprint from the start. And you've got to consider all the gear they're carrying and everything. Yeah, they probably could be more fit, but I don't think I
Initially,
could
it
do any better.
was pretty dry, and then I would say before we made entry, it started to rain.
started to rain that evening.
Yes.
We got him, bro. Yeah, he's in here. He's in here, bro.
Obregon's convinced he's in that property.
Yes.
He's in here, bro. Yeah.
Welcome back, Toxic.
He's in here, bro. He's in here. We don't know. That's where we lost him when he did the corner. He cut in, so he's gonna be on this right here, on this section right here. We need a unit on that side, bro.
Hey, Joellen, we'll be here when you come back. Thanks for being here. And they aren't paid enough to be movie star buff.
Yeah, they're sending that guy.
This is dangerous when they're surrounding a property trying to watch it.
No, I'm good with this one, bro. Ready?
Where's the last place you saw him?
Right here, on this corner right here. That's where we stopped.
Wait, he made it all the way up, so he's got to be in the 10-4. This is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to stay right here. I'm going to go up top. I'm going to take top cover. 10-4?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Somebody watch that area right there.
So it sounds like a super...
Come out!
Look at that voice.
State police!
What's up?
Check that door to your right.
State police, come out.
That's Trooper Lyons.
Trooper Lyons?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Roars like a lion.
David Ortiz! Come out!
David Ortiz, come out. That's what he's saying. I thought he was saying state police. Sometimes they're on the shoulder, which gives you a sort of crooked view. Chest is where it's the straightest view.
He's got to be, bro. He could have made it all the way over there.
No way, no. Got anything in that gap right there?
No, nothing, bro.
10-4.
I'm going to swap these. There we go. That way the text isn't covering the good picture. So we're taking the audio from the bottom. That's why I'm showing audio from the bottom, video from the top. They're almost in sync, as you can see. But yeah, he's got some pipes on him.
Okay. In the interest of time and
Fast
economy
forward.
here, how long is this search take place to cover and secure and clear all these areas?
I would say about 2.5 hours.
Okay. So in two and a half hours, you're clearing, you're securing, doing all this. Eventually, does it lead to the apprehension?
Yes, it does.
Thank you for sparing us 2.5 hours of walking around looking at a flashlight.
Do you personally enter the building with the SWAT team?
Yes, I do.
I'm doing what I can, DMB.
Permission to approach?
Yes, sir.
This is State's Exhibit 18.
We already have an 18.
Okay, well then this you're familiar
try
with
this.
this anyways, right?
Yes.
It has your initials.
Yes, and my
Let's try
initials.
that one. There we go.
Very good.
It's been admitted. That's enough. It's already been admitted. Yes, sir.
That was 18.
That is 18, Your Honor. That's been admitted.
Yes.
Suzanne, thanks for ordering a mug. Appreciate it.
Nunez.
And it looks like you ordered 2 mugs. Is that right? Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
We're all about to get granted, bro.
Yeah.
We're all about to get granted. Oh, sí, chingado, güey. Then he went off with somebody earlier, we dropped the bodies, he came back this way.
It's just too coincidence, huh?
Pues hay tantos, two female persons in la truck, güey. Y nomás está la holster en el medio aquí en ese.
He's talking about finding 2 female purses in his truck back at the gas station.
You can fast forward to the relevant portion.
No, if it wasn't
Real quick, what's going on here for the jury's information?
So we're just collecting the information that we had because everybody has different pieces of information, and so we're coming together and we're coming up with a pretty much game plan. And the Webb County SO offered the SWAT team, and then DPS volunteered to go in with them.
Okay.
Thank you, Suzanne. Really appreciate that.
All right, and we reassess and we'll know the rent.
Yeah, we already have one up there as well.
You have one up there?
Yeah, we have one up there. On top
Okay.
watching down.
Okay, we'll go meet up with the rent.
So we've got multiple police agencies responding here. They're just coordinating. SWAT's the guys with the helmet, looks like. They're going to be, that's sheriff. Might be the SWAT team from the sheriff's office. Tag, I love the styrofoam they ship in.
Can you
It's so
identify
secure.
who we have here?
Yes, this is Texas Ranger Salinas on the far right. I don't know exactly who the Laredo PD officer is. Captain Calderon from Webb County. I don't know exactly the other officer from Webb County is. And it's Trooper Obregon, and then more Webb County personnel.
Okay, so you have the two lead
They know who he
investigators
is, so I'm
on
pretty sure
site,
they know
which is,
that he's
Captain Fred Calderon and Texas
and
Ranger
Ellie.
Jay Salinas on the
Yes,
right.
sir.
Let me go with this guy.
Yeah.
The one thing they know right now is that they think they've got their guy. They're like, there's too much evidence. He may be the murderer, the guy that's got the whole county on edge right now. So everyone's thinking that right now. They found purses in his truck already, back at the gas station that he ran from. They've got the witness.
4 people right now going that way. Follow those.
They're gonna go check those places that you guys were at. They're gonna check those places where you guys were saying that.
At this point in time, what decision's been made?
We determined that the abandoned property was clear and that we were going to move over to the parking garage.
They really thought he was in that property.
The ramp?
Yes, sir. All the way up, and we're going to clear floor by floor.
Floor by floor. Okay.
Sergeant wants to check the property next door. But you gotta go to the outside.
Can you see yourself on this video?
Yes, on the far left one right there, in front of Trooper Obregon.
I don't think we'll get to see him bust a door down on this one, actually. I think they find him in a vehicle, but we should be able to see that. Maybe not continuous all the way through here.
Hey, move 2 at a time. No, it's not somebody moving forward, somebody else catch up for the second one. Okay, you 2 more people.
That site's a EOTech sight on top of that AR rifle. Really nice sight. Has a little red dot. No matter what angle you look in through the sight, that red dot is showing exactly where the bullet's going to hit if you fire the gun at that moment. That's sort of a favorite sight for law enforcement for rifles.
Remember the name of the hotel at this time?
It changes names, but I believe at the time it was called the Ava Hotel.
The Ava or Ava or however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, AVA.
80s, man, I did civilian police academy and got to be a victim.
What side are you on, Trooper?
So I'm on this left
victim.
side. From the body cam is Trooper Obregon, and I'm right in front of him.
In a hostage
Left side,
situation.
if I'm looking at it, where are
It
you?
was a thrill.
I'm on the right side.
Okay.
So Trooper Obregon, and then me. I'm the second person in front.
You're holding up the rifle?
No, I'm the.
I'm not
third.
out of breath at all. What's their problem?
Yeah, sorry, I'm counting from the body cam.
love that little site. I know I've said it already, but they're awesome. I think that they run about, I don't know, $500-600. It's an expensive little optic, but they're really, really fun. Tina, thank you for the mug order. Appreciate it. They're saying get in the stack. Getting in the stack is when they line up single file. Generally, the front person has some sort of protection.
What
like
is
a shield.
your
Right.
understanding or impression as far as his of him being armed at this time?
We still believe he's armed and dangerous.
This is neat to see. We often don't get to see this side of a search. So now they're in a stack. They're lined up single file. Their guns are all pointed in safe directions, not at the person in front of them. They train for this, so this is when training kicks in. You've got to think that as with each step, their anticipation is growing because they know they've got him cornered and they know this is the building he's in. And with everything they eliminate, that just means there's fewer and fewer options for him to be. So the chance of being in the next spot is higher.
Slow down. Let me get up.
What's going on here? What are we seeing?
So the lead group is clearing the vast majority of the parking garage, and the SWAT commander took the last personnel and asked if he can clear all these little cracks in between these cars just to make sure he wasn't hiding underneath or behind a car.
So you're looking in between, underneath, and around cars and any cracks. That
Yes,
are
sir.
around.
Okay.
Karen, I don't know why they didn't bring a dog on this, because this is the perfect time to bring a dog. They have a truck they could get a scent from. It would have been less risky for a police officer to definitely do that. And a lot of times, even the threat of a dog can bring a suspect out. A little fur missile here would be fun to watch as well. I might have to refund you that, guy. I know we've got a deal. We'll watch the Sarah Boone trial and see if you get a free mug out of it. It might just send you a second one. You never know. This is what happens when you don't buy an air fryer. Someone was here yesterday. Right, I haven't even heard any discussion of a canine unit on the footage yet. Juan was probably the canine officer. Randall says, pretty intense moment. Reminds me of my military days. Randall, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you being here. Very much appreciated. Breathe deeply, slow it down, deep breaths. But you know they're getting closer and closer, and they're spiraling up. They're in a parking garage, just clearing floor by floor, and eventually, once you get to the top, there's nowhere to go. So with each step around each corner, I mean, now you're seeing it's just even more caution. They're taking cover as they go. They don't know if they're walking into a trap, an ambush. Luckily, there aren't a lot of cars in here because it's at night. So I imagine during the day there will probably be vehicles in here. I missed your singing. Did you sing and I missed it? Joel, it's this or Bible study. I'm not trying to keep you from Bible study. Okay, if you got to go, you got to go. You can always watch it on the replay. I know this is why we have police dogs.
Where are we at this point in time?
We're on the 4th floor, about to clear it.
Just the top floor? Do you recall?
Don't recollect if it's top floor or not, but I believe it's the 4th floor.
Okay. Is that the truck?
Yes, that's the truck we ended up finding Juan David Ortiz laying in the bed of.
Joe Ellen, you're cracking me up.
I may approach him.
Just bring your phone with you and just watch it, quietly during Bible study. We won't tell anybody.
This is fairly inaccurately depict the image on that day?
Yes, sir.
And that's the way you saw it on that day?
Yes.
Amber, I found your singing, because the eyes of a ranger are upon you. Any wrong you do, he's going to see. When you're in Texas, look behind you, because that's where the ranger is going to be.
You're offering it?
Appreciate the singing.
State's Exhibit 22 is admitted into evidence.
Yeah. Can you imagine, being the top car up there, just like, I'm going to leave the parking garage, and you start working your way around the corner, and there's...
Get down! Get down!
No further questions for this witness.
Okay. That was a rush right there at the end. Apparently that's when they got to the top and found where he was at. Toxic, I can see Riley screaming. Does she likes those foot chases? Riley is our favorite fan here on the channel. Love that she's able to watch this. I paid the parking fee, I swear. The ticket's on the dash. It's on the dash. Release the hounds. Oh, man. Clearing a parking garage in full gear on foot, dude. The adrenaline must be coursing. You can feel it. I mean, my adrenaline's going as it's going up, as they get higher and higher. Riley says cursey words? No, never. Illinois Mama says, recovery addict, I've been out of the pocket for a week. So glad to be back here with everyone. So many interesting stories happening. Any thoughts on the Idaho 4? Yes. I was just reading about how 911 has had like a major increase in calls from college students who are just nervous about something. Everything that's like something's not right, or that car looks different. I don't, who's that person? I haven't seen him before. Everyone's calling 911, and everyone's on edge. The whole community, but still no suspect, which is just amazing. And it might be, we're going to have to wait until DNA evidence comes back from the crime scene, which will take a long time to process, considering how many people were in the crime scene before the police got there. But hopefully they find something. I don't believe anyone can commit a perfect crime. So there's going to be some evidence that will lead somewhere, and I think they'll get a suspect.
Trooper Obregon, good.
Trooper Bradshaw.
I'm sorry. Yes, Bradshaw. You testified at the last suppression hearing, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And in the video you heard, I think Obregon asked Mr. Ortiz, is this your pickup?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Ortiz answered, yeah.
Yes.
He took ownership, possession. He asserted his interest in the pickup, correct?
Yes.
He didn't abandon it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
okay.
He didn't say,
Where
no,
he's
that's not
going
my
here?
truck. Right? He didn't say that.
I would characterize it differently.
I'm asking you, did he say, no, that's not my truck?
No, he did not.
Okay. And
they're saying, why did you search it?
aside from the things that we saw on the video right now, what other, we know it continues, this video.
Yes.
And what participation, other than what we saw in the video, did you take? Did you go back to the truck?
I did not.
Okay. Well, tell me what you did after this.
So after this,
Lindsay, this is in Bexar
we
County.
were able to get him in handcuffs.
The crime was
I
in
get an
Laredo.
order from Ranger Salinas for me to go get my unit so I could transport him, but I guess I took too long. So Webb County brought up a transport unit up, and they took possession of him. And then after that, I made my way to the Webb County substation.
Okay.
Monica, the rules are when you quote a song, you have to put the musical notes on the end of it. All my exes are in Texas. So, great song.
We know that your unit, if you will, was down back at the convenience store, correct?
Yes.
And when you went back down there, did you happen to see any activity around the pickup, the white Dodge?
Honestly, I do not recall. I went back to get my unit, to get my rifle and my vest. So that's why I went back. I wasn't paying attention to that.
To get your rifle and your vest?
Yes.
Okay, that's to go back up and continue the
Yes.
search?
So to get my vehicle, to move it closer so I can suit up, get my helmet, vest, and rifle.
Okay. And so when kind of like you're going to leave the scene, is your unit over by the convenience store?
Yes.
Okay. At that moment in time, did you see any activity around the white Dodge?
Honestly, I do not recall, but I'm sure there was. Somebody was probably towing that vehicle.
Somebody was
probably towing that vehicle.
Okay.
So if they can say someone else put the purses in there.
Okay. Nothing further. Thank you.
Because the defendant
Bettis here, the
said he doesn't know
attorney
how the purses got in his
was
vehicle.
asking you about
Purses from the previous victims.
his response saying that, yes, this is my vehicle.
Yes.
And he also made a statement that Ortiz claimed ownership of his vehicle and did not abandon his vehicle.
Yes.
You began to answer and you were cut off.
Yes.
There you go, Monica.
Characterize it differently.
Yes.
Explain why it is characterized differently.
The reason why I would characterize it differently is because even though he claimed ownership of that vehicle, he completely turned away and ran the opposite direction. So had he followed directions and just complied, it would have been a different scenario. So him running away from us and the location of his vehicle, I characterize as abandonment.
Abandonment.
Yes.
And that's what, in your training and experience,
Yes.
he abandoned his vehicle.
Yes.
And therefore abandoned his rights to that vehicle.
Yes.
That's why.
This witness is not qualified to answer that question.
That's why they say it's okay to search it because he abandoned it.
It's exactly the same question. So he abandoned his rights to that vehicle.
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
Sustained.
No further questions.
Nothing further from this.
You may step down.
Thank you.
Okay, so they're laying the foundation to bring the evidence that's in that vehicle into court, which was the women's purses who had been killed, needles, condoms, all sorts of stuff.
You'll call your next witness, sir?
State calls Trooper Abiel Obregon.
All right. Yeah, good question, that guy. It doesn't necessarily mean you're abandoning it just because you walk away from your vehicle. But he was headed out of the store, like towards his vehicle, was stopped by the officers and turned and ran. So they might have.
You're under the same oath you took
cause for
yesterday,
that.
sir. Good morning. Yes, sir. You may take a stand.
So here's the second witness
The witness
back
has been
again.
previously sworn.
I think. Oh no, that's somebody else.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Mr. Alanis. I'm the DA in Webb and Zapata. Could you please state your full name for the record?
Yes, sir. It's Abiel Alejandro Obregon.
And how are you employed, sir?
I believe that was in the truck too.
With Texas DPS.
How long?
Closer to 8 years, sir. 7 years to be exact. I'm sorry.
Okay. Are you certified peace officer?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. What are your duties, sir, as a state trooper?
To execute the mission of the department, sir. To protect and serve Texas and its citizens.
Okay. Now,
I like how he says that.
I want to direct your attention back to September the 15th, 2018. Do you remember that day, sir?
Yes, sir.
Were you on duty that day?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay. Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you were doing that day. Were you on duty in the morning or in the evening?
It was evening, routine patrol on 35. Me and Bradshaw were working nearby from each other on 35, and that's when we received a text stating the details of what the mission was, or what we were supposed to do.
Tiffany, I don't know why they took it off the table. I think
yes,
the
sir.
family,
What
the
was in
family
that bolo,
requested
sir?
life.
That bolo,
the punishment,
that text
so
message
maybe
was a
that was
bolo,
why.
and it contained information regarding Ortiz. It had his picture from his DL, his driver's license from Texas. It had the 28, which is the license plate. I can't recall the license, but I do know, if I'm not mistaken, it was a DV plate, and the make and model of the vehicle as well. Also, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Also, within the text, there was it did say possibly armed and dangerous, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you, sir. Do you see Ortiz in the courtroom today?
I do, sir. He's right there.
Can you please point him out an article of clothing he's wearing?
Black suit, burgundy tie, and gray shirt.
Okay. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit in the evening that time, but did you eventually encounter Ortiz?
I did, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell us
Outside
about
this-
that.
I did encounter him. I was patrolling San Bernardo. Bradshaw went over the DPS radio and advised that he made contact with the vehicle that matched the vehicle that was described on text. I make his location. I was maybe a block away from him. I get there within 15 seconds, maybe even less. I park my unit in front of Trooper Bradshaw's unit. My unit is right behind, I'd say 15, 20 yards behind Ortiz's white Dodge Ram pickup truck. DB plates, it didn't match. I get off. Trooper Bradshaw does say, "Hey, that's Ortiz." So I saw him get off the vehicle.
What's the
going
DB
into
plate?
the gas station.
DB, DV? Is that
At
Delta
that
Victor
point,
or Delta Bravo?
We decided to rally in behind my unit, and then that's when Mr. Ortiz came out of the store.
Okay. Did you have your dash camera deployed that night?
Dash camera was on, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that disabled veteran? Oh, you, Matthew Harris, you said it right as I did. I think
The last exhibit is 22. That's been admitted.
and that would go to the
So the next one will be
his
21.
prior military experience. I was thinking it was a Texas only thing, but yeah, that's pretty nationwide. DB
Ask you
plates.
if you're familiar with this CD.
I am, sir. I did initial it on the top left.
Have you had the opportunity to view the contents of the CD?
I did, sir.
And does it fairly accurately depict the video from that evening of your dash cam?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Okay.
Judge, Your Honor, the 23.
Permission to publish?
Yeah. Well, first of all, State's Exhibit 23 will be admitted into evidence at this time, and you may publish, yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sweet. Oh boy, another 20 minutes of nothing for 2 seconds of go. Right, their video editor needs to be fired.
Okay.
I mean, granted, you need to have enough footage so you get an idea of what's happening before it starts, but 3 or 4 seconds can be enough to establish the setting before an event occurs on camera. Let's see how this goes here.
Yes, sir.
As the video plays, if you can just tell us what's going on and your location.
100%, sir.
They're in Laredo.
Yes, sir. Like I said, we're patrolling the downtown area right there.
You can move the mic up to your mouth
Yeah.
and speak loudly.
We're right there. I'm just I'm patrolling downtown Laredo. That's a SO unit right there. Passes by.
Started raining?
I believe this is like maybe a minute and 45 seconds before I make contact with Trooper Bradshaw. That is San Bernardo. Yeah, that's San Bernardo. I'm heading southbound of San Bernardo. Right there, like I said, we're looking for the vehicle.
That's your mission right now.
Yes, sir. Looking for the that's the mission right there. We're looking for the vehicle. We're looking for Ortiz.
What are the weather conditions? I just saw your wipers go off.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a mist going on right there. It did rain afterwards. It did rain. It was but right there it's just it was just a little bit of drizzle. still patrolling. I'm right behind the SO unit right there. Shortly afterward, Trooper Bradshaw will go on the radio and advise that he's located the vehicle.
Why are you on San Bernardo, Trooper, of all places?
If I remember correctly, sir, if I recall, the text message did say, "Hey, go patrol that area of the city."
Tag, I see your
Were you aware of
anti-Navy
the people
comments
that were
there.
being targeted?
No, sir.
Okay, so the two videos I'm showing, that we're hearing the audio from the top video, but the bottom video is a better footage. So there is a little delay between the two, but I wanted to show both just so you got the reference.
Right there, you see where you can see where I step on the gas right there. He's already dispatched that he's made contact with the vehicle, and that's where he's at. That's where I make his 20, his location. That's Trooper Bradshaw right there. Right there, I see I see Ortiz's white pickup truck right there, sir.
There was no cars over right in front of the there was parking available in the front of the door, correct?
Correct, yes, sir.
He has parked at the far left.
Yes, sir. Right behind the right in front of the.
Hey, Debbie, I missed it. What did you say?
The dumpster.
Yes, sir. The dumpster.
I'll take a look at that one, Debbie. I think I saw that come through.
3845. I'm with Bradshaw.
Hey, Bobby. Bobby, thank you for the cup of work order. I appreciate that. The mug.
What's happening here? What are you doing?
I advised comms and other troopers around the area that I'm with Trooper Bradshaw making contact. That's when I get off the vehicle, and that's when Trooper Bradshaw describes Mr. Ortiz going inside the stripe store.
When you say making contact, what does that mean in plain language?
Arriving on scene to where the traffic is located. To that's the objective, was to find that vehicle and find Ortiz.
What do you mean by traffic? What is that lingo? The traffic is located. I mean, can you explain to me what that means?
What the mission is, our job, our duty, and the job that night was to locate Ortiz, which is what we did.
When you say traffic on site, making contact, that means you spotted Ortiz.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Come out.
Maybe 10 seconds pass by, and then that's when Ortiz comes out of the gas station, and then that's when we engage with him.
We've already. I'm going to show you what's already been admitted. You were the other trooper paired up with Bradshaw, and your body cam was in fact operable, right?
Yes, sir.
And you did record all the events.
Yes, sir.
And a semi did not run over your body cam, right?
Just for the record, we're going to publish Exhibit 21, Trooper Obregon's body cam, just so that you can tell the jury what you did.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys, all the armed forces are amazing. Even the guys that just ride boats. The Coast Guard. No, appreciate all your service, definitely. I've heard all the jokes. I've heard that the Air Force gets it easy. I've heard everything. I've worked. Don't talk about this a lot, but I've done a lot of work as a contractor with the military, so I've heard them all. But be nice, be nice. We can all have a good laugh at it. But definitely, for all who served, appreciate your service. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, National Guard, whatever it is. I appreciate it.
Okay, Bradshaw, I'm gonna do the talking. All right, sir.
Okay, so what's going on here? What are you telling Bradshaw, and why are you, you know?
So right there, I made contact with Bradshaw. Like I said, that's going to be probably 10 seconds before Ortiz comes out of the gas station. I'm getting my M4, but then decide not to go for it because that's when Ortiz was coming out.
What's an M4?
It's the assault rifle that DPS issued us, sir.
So you do not have your long rifle?
No, sir, I don't.
You only have your handgun?
Yes, sir.
And you take over and giving the commands?
That's correct, sir.
Okay.
The M4 is like the AR-15 style look.
Stop right there. Stop. 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 Is this your truck? Is this your truck? Okay. All right. Turn around. Turn around.
Get on your knees.
Turn around. I'll explain to you right now. Turn around. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna explain to you. Okay, Bradshaw, I'm gonna do the talking. All right, sir. We got a positive ID with some. This truck right here is matching with the potential, with the murders that's been happening within the past 2 weeks. We wanna do an interview. We wanna do some questioning. We just need for you to cooperate with us, okay? All right, fine. Make my way. Just turn around and make my way this way, okay? Turn around. Just turn around. Turn around, please. Turn.
At this point in time, he's a suspect for 2 murders.
Okay.
I'm asking you, is he a suspect for 2 murders?
Yes, sir.
You're giving him orders?
Yes, sir.
Is he following your commands?
No, sir.
He acknowledges that his truck is that white truck, correct?
Yes, sir. He did. He said, and I quote, he said, yeah.
Okay. And he says, you're freaking me out.
Yes, he does, sir.
Okay. Do you proceed to give him orders?
Yes, sir. So shortly after he said he's freaking out, I do something that maybe I shouldn't have done, but I decide to lower my weapon a little bit more to minimize the stress on him. I still have, Trevor Bradshaw still has his weapon downrange, and so I try to minimize the stressful situation and try to give him commands saying, hey, we just want to talk to you, want to do some questioning, interview you. Shortly afterwards, Ortiz decides to run.
He runs away from you?
Yes, sir.
Disobeying your orders?
Yes, sir.
He runs away from his truck?
That's correct.
Abandoning his truck?
Objection, Your Honor. It's opinion, evidence. This witness is not qualified to answer that question.
They're still trying to fight that.
In your training
the
and
evidence that's in the
experience,
truck
yes, sir.
issue.
When a subject runs and you make contact,
yes, sir,
to investigate a subject,
yes, sir,
who is subject to investigation of a crime and runs away from their vehicle, what do you consider that?
Objection, Your Honor. Again, that's a legal principle. This witness is not qualified to answer that question.
Well,
and
I want to approach.
And also, Your Honor, speculation is not relevant.
Let me address something here, so.
This guy's like, I just want to answer the question. Okay, so the reason they're fighting this is the defense does not want the evidence that was found in the truck, namely Erica's shirt, the purses for 2 of the previous victims. They do not want that evidence admitted. If they can say that he didn't abandon the truck, then it will be harder to have the search of the truck admitted as permissible. They would say, no, there should have been a search warrant because it was not abandoned. Abandoned at the scene of a crime, yeah, they can search it. So they're pushing very hard on this issue. That's why they're fighting so much. Why they're they're saying, hey, you can't testify that it's abandoned. That's outside his expertise. But you can see where the defense is going because this is major evidence against him. 3 items from victims in this case. That's why they're fighting. So we'll see. I think so far that the defense has lost all these battles. The judge has overruled all their objections. I don't think they'll be successful in keeping this evidence out. I don't think they'll be able to prove or have the evidence that was collected in the search of that truck without a search warrant there at the scene. I don't think they'll be able to prove that that was an unjust search. Anyway, I think that's where they're going with that. So this is why we're having so many of this this back and forth on this topic. If the police hierarchy considers it abandoned, then they've received legal counsel on it. Training afterwards of police officers would make each officer qualified. Yeah, it seems like it doesn't take an expert opinion to determine if something's abandoned on this one. It seems like just a trained individual could be able to make that determination, especially a law enforcement officer who has to determine, what he can and can't do on the scene of a crime with or without, without a search warrant in place. But yeah, how is he not qualified for that? That just it does seem like it would be his training expertise would qualify him to make that call. So let's see what the judge decides here.
Okay, we're gonna give the jury a short break at this time. It's 10:16. I'll ask you. I guess we'll be on break for about 10 or 15 minutes. And I'll just remind you not to discuss the facts of the case, please. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, let's see if everyone gets a break or if we're gonna dig into this officer's training expertise to see if he's qualified to make this determination that the vehicle was abandoned. It's awfully quiet there. No hot mics right now. Let's see if we get audio back, and if the fact that they said 10 or 15 minutes, I think we're going to be here in the courtroom with the judge, hopefully with audio on. Yes, he's pleading not guilty after he gave a 9-hour interrogation that ended in a confession. And the thing that blows me away, this confession not only ended with him saying, "I did it," literally, those words out of his mouth, "I did it." But he also said, "Oh, and there's one more you don't know about, and you can find her body at this location," and they did. So, I mean, it's not a question in the police officer's mind of whether or not he did it. He obviously had information about a crime that no one else really should have had. But if they can keep that evidence from that interrogation from being permissible in this trial, that gets rid of so much of the evidence against him that there's a chance that he's not going up there saying, "Hey, I'm innocent. I was somewhere else. I have an alibi." Self-defense. He's not using any other defense. It's basically you can't prove it. You don't have the evidence to convict me. And I think that's what they're going for. And really, what does he have to lose? Because if he pleads guilty, he gets life in prison. If the worst that can happen in this case is he gets life in prison, and the best that can happen is they're able to exclude some evidence and they find him not guilty because they haven't proved all the elements of the case. So, yeah, he's saying his confession was forced. 9 hours? Yeah, that raises concerns in my mind. I've been interrogated for hours in a police station. I can tell you it's not fun. And you do get worn down. I can't imagine. I was there for, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And after 9 hours of that could be mentally exhausting. That's crazy. Ashley says, "I've been busy for the last half hour. What's happening now?" We've had a couple officers testify that pulled up to the gas station where they located his truck, Mr. Ortiz's truck. So they pull up. Mr. Ortiz has gone inside the store. The officers position themselves in a defensible location at the pump, sort of behind their vehicles. Mr. Ortiz comes out of the store. The officers yell to him and say, basically, "Hands up." They've got their firearms drawn, and then in the course of interacting with Mr. Ortiz, they ask, and he tells them that is his truck. He identify him, so that properly identifies him as the suspect, because he says, "Yes, that's the truck. We knew that the truck belonged to the suspect." So they tell him, "Hey, turn around. We just want to talk to you." He turns around and he runs. So we've been watching the body cam footage of that. as that happened. It looks like we're not having any business conducted. We're just going straight to a little bit of a break. Let's see. See if we can find a different preset that we'll all live with here. Is this right? No. Okay. Anyway. Anyway, that's what happened. Abby says 9 hours nonstop. I don't know if there were breaks or not. I imagine there were. There were times where the officers left the room and came back in and asked questions. That's normal. I have not seen the interrogation video. Toxic. I'm not sure if that's been released. If he didn't take the truck to run away, he abandoned it. Mary Kay says, recovery addict, it would seem like the police would be able to look in the truck in case there was another person in it. Right, so typically the law allows officers, when they're making an arrest, to search the immediate area around the person they're arresting. So if that person is in a vehicle, they can do a search of the vehicle. If they need to do a really heavy, in-depth search, tear things apart, there would be a search warrant involved. Abby says, Debbie had to go babysit my daughter's father-in-law is at the end of life, and she needed to go over and see him. Oh, man. Heart goes out to you. I meant that guy. Sorry, autocorrect. I just caught that. You guys are funny with your back and forth about military. I'm trying to follow the stories on the court case at the same time. Let's see. I want to be in box 3. Is that too much to ask? Box sources 3 is going to be me. There we go. All right. This is similar to the Darrell Brooks courtroom layout, says Ollie. I guess this is sort of like a traditional type courtroom layout. Some of them have been where the judge's desk sort of sits at a funny angle and the jury sits on different sides. But this is I would say it's traditional. Okay, just trying to catch up with the chat. If anyone needs me to read a question or respond to something, just go ahead and tag me in the chat. That'll make it show up in orange like it did here for Abby. As you see, it shows up on my screen orange, and it just really makes it able for me to pick that out of the mess of questions here. Ollie says, looking at this room, we see the jury areas to the left of the prosecution table, closer to them than defense. Yep. 9 hours is a long interrogation. However, I'm sure it wasn't nonstop. How much was actually questioning him? I don't know, Keisha. It'll be interesting to see how long it went. I'm sure he got like bathroom breaks and on water. I'm not sure if he got food during that time, but there have been some long interrogations in other cases as well that held up. 9 hours would be beyond my tolerance for circular BS. Chandra, and we do know that for many of those hours, he was claiming that he had no idea. He had no idea how things got in his truck. He didn't know who this woman was who was also in the police station saying that he had pointed a gun at her. He was like, I don't know. And then they started confronting him with evidence saying, she's seen your tattoos because she's been with you, type thing. And once he was confronted with that evidence, he started breaking. And eventually, as we heard in the I believe in the prosecutor's opening statements, he says, hey, can you take the cuffs off? And the officer, realizes that he's breaking. And so the officer takes the cuffs off. He stretches in his chair, and he says, I did it. So I'm sure we're going to hear that part. Oh, yeah, it's Liberty Call. Michelle, I missed that. I have the memory of a goldfish, so if it's something we were talking about earlier, I forgot already. Okay, I was thinking 9 hours is not legal, is it? There's going to be some breaks, but if he didn't lawyer up, if he didn't say, hey, I would like to stop now, I don't want to answer questions, and we'll have to see. We'll have to see what's in the recording. To get recovery addicts' attention, use @ and his name, no space. That works every time, Abby. Thank you for posting that. Court cases, military talk. I feel like I'm in the Mission Impossible movie. Man, the best so far this morning for me has definitely been the body cam footage of that the search as they're going from the gas station to the car parking garage. That for me, that was great video. I love the audio. I loved seeing how the police were interacting and preparing to do the search. Only an arrogant law enforcement would sit for an interrogation without asking for a lawyer during questioning. I believe he did have some arrogance about him. The DB courtroom was brighter. I feel like I'm in a nice planetarium right now. They'll dim the lights, give me a story about the stars at lunchtime. I like the curved ceiling here. A little bit of hanging lights, chandelier style. Pretty good. Terry's going to drop the doggy off at the groomer and then doctor's appointment. We'll be listening in the background. See you later. Terry, have a safe drive. Hope everything goes well. Ollie, with so many of these cases, we want them to just man up. It's like, why are you being such a coward and refusing to man up to what you're accused of type thing? If you did it, man up and quit doing this. Yeah. Why was he cleaning up America all on his own? Yeah, it's... If he had a problem with prostitution, if he had a moral problem with prostitution and was cleaning up the country by executing them, how does he justify his participation in prostitution, being the John, being the customer? He arguably is the problem. I can see people saying things they don't mean if you're questioned that long. Right, Abby, this is what they're going to bring up. They're going to say it was coerced because it took so long. Okay, Yolissa says, in South Africa, if you're a suspect, police don't need no one's permission to search your vehicle, if especially someone like this suspicious guy while he was running. Right, here in the United States, we have different freedoms that are enshrined in the Constitution, both in state and national, and so we have these guaranteed freedoms that are. We have freedoms in our belongings that we can't just have police stop us and say papers, please type thing. I mean, they have to have a reason to stop you. And if they search you, they have to have, a reasonable suspicion to perform different steps. There are different levels, thresholds they have to meet of reasons why they would say, you are the person we're looking for, or we believe you're committing a crime or just committed a crime. They can't just randomly stop you and search you. And so, so court a lot of times will focus on those levels of were those thresholds met, because if they weren't met, then anything they found as a result will be thrown out. You say, okay, it was an illegal search, so anything you found is not admissible in court as evidence against me because the police overstepped their bounds in doing that. So I think that's going to be a major part of this trial as the defense is trying to get evidence thrown out or prohibited from bringing into court. Matthew Harris steps in and says, this reminds me of the police officer who sat for an interrogation while being accused of certain crimes against underage victims all over YouTube. It's pure arrogance to try and outsmart. Right, these guys are not going to win. I think there's way too much evidence against him. So unless the defense starts winning some of these objections with the judge, which so far they have not, it does not appear they're doing, it looks like it could go badly. It might even go so badly that they just give up. That the defendant says, "Hey, I can't afford these attorneys. It's going to go. I'll just go ahead and take a plea, if there is even one on the table." Right? There's definitely an imbalance in how society looks at the whole world of prostitution. Lately, I think police agencies have done a better job of prosecuting those seeking prostitutes instead of those offering the services. Wouldn't they have probable cause to search his vehicle? DMB, I think that's what they're saying here. Basically, he abandoned his vehicle as he was committing a crime, which was disobeying a lawful order. They had reason enough to make a felony stop. Okay, they had enough information about him that they felt justified in pulling up an AR-15 and pointing at him as the first interaction and saying, "Put your hands up." Right. So they have enough information, this probable cause to proceed at that route. So yeah, with him fleeing, the police were confident in their decision making that he's already said that's his truck, and it's okay for us to search it. If the guy didn't get a lawyer and went along with the interrogation, too bad. Last poet, one of the things that was mentioned in the defense opening statement yesterday was that that they think there was an error made in reading him his rights. That there were 2 points where the rights were read. One where the officer started reading him his rights, and another superior said, "Hey, don't do that," and he stopped. And then another time in the interrogation when he was read his rights but wasn't asked if he waived his rights. And so they're trying to say, because I wasn't asked, or because the client was not asked to waive these rights, he hadn't waived them, so you're violating his rights by continuing to ask. I don't think that argument's going to go far, but I think they're going to play that card when the turn comes. Melody says prostitution would end if there was no demand for it. It's not just the prostitute. She's not selling her services to herself. Right. It takes two, as they say. Suspects always maintain the right to remain silent. Right. And occasionally innocent people do. But you know, the general advice from somebody who doesn't trust law enforcement would be get a lawyer and don't say anything. Objection, Your Honor. Grounds: the evidence is making our client look bad. Right. Takes us back to DB. I'll be careful not to spill my cup on my computer again. But those that have ordered the mug today, we've got the objection overruled grounds mug. We're working on another mug that you guys talked about yesterday in the live chat. It might not be a mug. We're actually looking at doing a hoodie, so that'll be fun. Why do I feel like an usher with a flashlight will come out to seat the jury right now? Just saying. It's the lighting. It is sort of unique lighting. It looks like LED. But yeah, it's interesting. Does anyone know how new this courtroom is? Is this a very new building? My half invisible mug. Yes, I will say that if you order one of these mugs, you get the whole mug, not just the parts that disappear. Like the handle, it fades away into nothing. That's better if I hold it off to the side of me. Otherwise, I have a hole through me. Monica, you got a pink mug. Wonderful. I've got the pink mug as well. I love that one. Thank you so much, Monica. Another mug going to Florida there. Florida's representing. Appreciate the order. Are those sound blocks along the wall, or are those just wrestling wall mats like on the gym? I believe they are sound mats to keep the courtroom quiet. With all the shuffling, whether it's a hardwood floor or the hard benches people are sitting on, there's a lot of opportunity for noise to be in the courtroom. So they try to mute those noises, and they're along the back side of the wall where the spectators would be sitting. This is typical decor for a San Antonio Bexar County, very heavily Mexican influence. Right, this is a border town, right? I mean, this is the area of Laredo, especially where this happened, is right on the border. And so you've got a strong influence of both cultures, from this area that are represented. So that's why you're hearing the accents you hear. That's why just culturally the mix of population wise from different heritages are represented the way it is. Michelle says. Or Ollie says, Michelle, now I need to find a way to trade emails. If you'd like me to facilitate that, you can both send something to the burner phone and identify yourself, and I can pass it back and forth, so you don't have to do it on a live stream where who knows who could get it. Sandra says, send in all your pictures with your mugs for Monday Mug Day. Monday Mug Day. That we might have to make that a thing. Pretty sure I read somewhere that they don't have the right to remain silent even with an attorney. That guy, which one are you talking about? Do police officers not get that right, as it would be against the Brady Act of being dishonest? I believe any suspect, let's see, I think any suspect has that right. There's nothing dishonest about remaining silent. If by Brady Act you're referring to Brady material, well, then he's the defendant, so he can remain silent. State isn't hiding anything from him. Yep, I'm happy to help. Anything I can do. Okay, so we just have just a minute or two, and they should be back in the courtroom. Is Texas still a death penalty state? That's a question for Matthew, right? Let's see what we got here. Everyone's saying yes, 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 yes. Texas is death penalty. So why did they not? Was it just the family's request that the state honored in not doing death penalty on this one? Is that the only reason why they didn't try to pursue that? Because, I mean, they've got some pretty clear and convincing evidence if it's permissible. We execute more per capita than everyone but Saudi Arabia and Iran. So not only are they a death penalty state, they are the death penalty state. Broadway Garden, welcome, says, hey, haven't been following this case too close, but is this guy trying to say he's innocent? Broadway, I don't think he will stand up and testify. But I've said that I've been wrong many times before on that. I don't think he will. What he's basically trying to do is say, you can't prove the case against me. So he's pled not guilty. So in a way, he's telling them he's not guilty. But his argument is, or his strategy that the defense seems to be raising is, if we can block certain evidence from coming into trial, it's not enough to prove the case. So I think that's what they're going for. I don't ever foresee Texas doing away with the death penalty. They are a proud death penalty state. Police are allowed to lie in the performance of their duty. Yes, I was lied to when I was interrogated. The detective that was interrogating me lied and told me he had evidence of me, witnesses that placed me at a scene that I was not at. They definitely did lie to me.
We'll probably try and break for lunch at about 12-ish. So, you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
Your witness.
Are we bringing the witness? Yes, sir. Obregon.
I think we're about ready. Some families don't want death penalty. They think it's harder and better to lock them up until they die. I think so too. I think death penalty is the easy way out. Okay, so I'm not sure. That might be the only reason why they're not pursuing death penalty in this case.
Can you take the stand again, sir? As soon as he steps up here, you can be the jury.
I don't know why we're looking at this lady's laptop.
Please remain standing for the jury.
Oh, they just about showed the jury coming in. This cameraman is reckless in how he's filming. Oh my goodness, that was too close. He literally panned over the door where the jury comes in. He was shooting right over the top of the jury box. Oh, as a cameraman, you've got responsibilities. I've done a lot of professional camera work, and
you may be seated.
Somewhere there was legal ramifications for if I filmed the wrong thing. And you can't take that risk. You've got to know your limits, know where your stops are for your angles.
We left off when you were giving him commands.
Yes, sir.
What were those commands?
Turn around and walk towards the sound of my voice. Those were the commands, sir.
What did he do? Did he follow your commands?
No, sir. He acted confused for a couple seconds, and then shortly afterwards, he decided to run.
Yeah, the audio feed is coming out of sync right now.
He ran, and you were wearing your uniform.
That is correct, sir. Yeah, I mean, I guess the best way to describe it is he evaded, right? He didn't follow the commands.
She's working
after hard. I verbally told him what our intentions were. So he did evade from the scene.
And evading in the state of Texas, is that an offense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he's committing a crime.
Detention is an offense in Texas.
Okay, what classification is that? Do you know? Is it a misdemeanor or felony?
No, it's a felony, sir.
Okay.
So he committed a felony.
He
right
runs
next to his truck.
Ultimately south of the gas station.
Correct.
Okay. Do you and you're involved in the chase, the foot chase?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Eventually, fast forward a few hours, correct?
Yes, sir. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, it's a class A, sir, evading arrest or detention.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. So
Should
it's
I clarify?
evading detention or arrest is a
Yes,
class
sir.
A. Okay.
Is it a Class A misdemeanor or Class A felony?
You get to eventually to the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And which parking lot is this?
It's the parking lot that goes up to the Ava Hotel.
Thank you, Watcher. Appreciate that.
And
I hope
are you
love
part of
them.
the team that goes into
Class A misdemeanor.
clear the parking lot?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay. And eventually, is Mr. Ortiz found?
Yes, sir. He is found in the bed of the pickup truck.
And is he arrested without incident? Is he arrested without any incidents?
Oh no. He's placed in handcuffs. We take him out of the truck, place him on the ground, and then I place handcuffs on him.
All the while, you are wearing your body cam.
So we should
That's
get
correct,
to see
yes,
that.
sir.
The arrest.
Do you remember in relation to the SWAT team and the other law enforcement staff where you were? Were you in the front, or were you in the middle, or the back?
When we did the clearance up to the garage, I was rear security. I was the one in the back, sir.
Okay. Were you able to capture the actual apprehension on your body cam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Permission to publish and fast forward to that moment, basically where we left off on that last video.
No objection to fast forwarding it?
So if you identified the exhibit for the record, that's all.
Okay, we're
Which one is it? What is it?
21.
The body cam?
So Debbie, you're asking how I do my video magic. I've got about $10,000 worth of hardware, professional hardware. Look at this guy filming right behind the defense table. He's literally videoing with his cell phone right behind the defense, where he can see any papers they hold up. He can hear any conversation they have. And he looks like Tom Hanks, sort of. Do you guys see that? He's got that Tom Hanks look. But anyway, I do have a lot of equipment that enables me to play with the video and work my little magic here on this end.
Now there's a gap that leads to the bottom, but by that time, these guys were already happening, and we were coming through the frontage road.
That's the building, or that's the house that we thought he was in initially. I was confident he had gone to that house right there. That's the house on that corner, right before the going up the driveway to the Ava Hotel, or to the Ava garage parking lot.
Yeah, you were very confident that he had actually gone into that
Yes, sir.
property.
Yes, sir.
Was that because of the easy access, or why did
Yeah, it was just it was accessible, his height, and also just the timing. You think that everything is moving at a normal pace, but everything is actually moving a lot faster than what it seems.
Hey, Randy, what's the question about? Is what legal?
I just thought that from the time we lost visual to the time we cut that pie, to
You're talking about the
unknown,
filming?
which is that driveway.
The judge is sort of rules in the
courtroom. That
courtroom.
far.
If
He
he
must have
opens it
jumped
up
here.
completely,
He's
he can
here.
let them.
So we decided to regroup, wait for backup, and then attack the building to where we thought that's where Mr. Ortiz was at.
which ended up being empty?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So he was moving faster than you anticipated.
Yes, sir.
Here you're planning the next move to go upstairs, or what?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Somebody, one of the neighbors heard noise in between this building and the next. So he's possibly a tall guy.
Who was the first one here?
Me and Rock.
Okay, you two guys, let's start leading the way. Let's start moving to where we think this
Yeah.
guy is. Let's do it slowly and carefully.
This area is secured. I answer you. The neighbor says there might be some cuartito where you might hide. It's like a flower shop. I suggest.
Let's move to there.
32. One empty mag, an empty holster at the truck.
Florida man, I'm actually not. I'm using ATEM switchers, Blackmagic Design ATEM switchers. They're hardware switchers instead of software.
Property right there, right?
Yes, sir, we are.
So this is the downside of having a chest-worn body cam. As you hold the gun at the ready on your chest, your arms are blocking the camera's view.
Where do you have the body cam placed? Show the jury where it is. 'cause
right behind my
I
arm.
believe it was on. I mean, I can't see from here, but I usually put like right on my chest, a little bit, just center and a little bit higher up from my chest, so like around here, I would say.
So you're pointing to the middle of your chest.
That's correct.
So that's why the video sometimes catches your arms.
Yes, sir.
Or your.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This guy is filming. It's just bizarre. Sitting right there filming on the front row.
Come this way. Oscar, go this way. Lead the way. Let's go.
Yeah, we can't see anything. We can hear what's happening, but so far we really aren't getting much video evidence from this. It might change in the actual arrest, though. Toxic, I think that's some gear, possibly the gun bumping up against the body cam casing, or maybe something on his belt.
We did up to the point where we captured and secured Ortiz.
Okay.
So we're watching his arm as they clear every floor. They're spiraling up this multi-level parking garage, where on the 4th floor is where they're going to find it. Hey, Roxy, welcome. Glad to have you here. Possibly weapon sling. Very likely tag. The judge is like, can you fast forward this one too? Yeah, if you're trying to adjust your camera, it's all, the video is bad. We were just seeing arm covering the camera lens. Debbie, I'm sure the judge has seen it, and he possibly has allowed it. It might be as long as they're silent, as long as they're unobtrusive, he can film. A lot of courtrooms say that you can't touch the camera equipment or make sudden movements. It can't have any lights that indicate when they're recording. They, obviously are restricted as far as. It's like a move I can't see.
Yes, it is. Hold your hand.
Who's taking out their handcuffs, sir?
That's me, sir. I'm placing handcuffs on
You
Ortiz.
placed the handcuffs on Ortiz?
Yes, sir.
That's why we watched his video.
Where's the weapon at, man? Hey, where's the weapon? Huh? Where'd you leave it? Where is it, man? Good pants out. We're in the truck.
What's up? Wait.
He had left his weapon in the door of the truck, I believe. Okay, I was just saying that the judge places restrictions on the cameras. Here in this courtroom, they're sort of all over the place. I mean, we have a camera gathering this image right now, which is a pool camera, they have one there and another one back on the other side. They have some pan tilt zoom cameras that are controlled remotely by a control board, like a joystick, almost like you're playing a video game. And then you have some shoulder-mounted cameras that are on sticks, as we call it, on tripods that individual operators are using. So lots of cameras here, and then also the cell phones. And the thing that gets me about that, the guy who's sitting behind the defense filming, that dude right there, probably a reporter with his laptop and everything, but his vantage point being in that corner against the wall, almost anything he films, it sort of has the jury in the background. So he's really limited to what he can film and still follow orders. Now, he may capture on film accidentally the jury, as long as he doesn't publish that in any way before or during or after the trial. Then he's probably okay. He'd probably just want to delete those images as soon as that happens. But the judge isn't going to search through his phone and see if he accidentally got a picture. Yeah, if he accidentally records the jury, as a cameraman, that's a bad spot to be set up in. Especially knowing the restrictions and the legal ramifications for, making a mistake. And he's using the courtroom's power to charge his phone. He might actually be powering off his laptop. I'm not sure. Or maybe he has a charger device.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
It takes a long time because these other guys don't have handcuffs, or they're not the arresting agency.
Check the truck. Hey, Sarge. 32 tailgate on his truck. What's your name, bro? You already know. Huh? You already know. What's your name? You already know. All right, let me see your face. I got a picture.
Simon.
What's your name? Huh? What's your name? Take a shoot that way. Hey.
What are y'all doing here?
I'm
Just
patting him
taking
down
his
from where I can reach. I mean, there's obviously multiple officers all around him. So I just try to check his waistline and his shoes, his jeans, and any type of weapons that might, hurt us on the process of him being transported or being taken into custody.
Possible weapons such as?
Firearms, knives, anything that might hurt us or hurt him.
Okay. And were any such weapons found?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thanks for that update, Matt. I missed that. Matthew, sorry.
Get him up. Go. Sit him right here.
KQD, it's good to see the scout troop doing service in the community. Love that they shoveled your walk and driveway. Yeah, we're already starting off better than Matthew Terry's trial did, or arrest did. He was underwear
Mr.
only.
Ortiz harmed or injured in any way when he was arrested?
No, sir.
He was taken without incident?
That's correct.
Okay.
Any needles? No?
You gotta check him. Injuries?
Watch out.
You alright? Nothing hurts? Knees? When you jump up fence, you're gonna hurt yourself?
Is that you going through his pocket?
Yes, sir. It is, sir.
10-4. Do me a favor, relax right here and sit down.
Finding the car keys?
This is not his
you
truck.
recall?
This is just
I
somebody
can't recall
else's
that,
truck
sir,
he
no,
climbed
sir.
into.
Well, we'll keep watching the video. Go ahead, sir.
Fist bumps all around.
Pockets appear to be empty when you checked them. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Debbie, I did. I got monetized yesterday. It was super exciting. Thank you. I try to turn off all the ads that I can because I don't want you guys to have to watch ads.
Trooper Obregon,
Yes, sir.
you're the one that's searching through his pockets. What items did you take out?
A lighter, I believe so. And I think that was it, sir.
Well, there were other items on the tailgate, not just a lighter.
Okay, but from what I took, you asked me, that's all I took, sir.
Can you put it back on where it was? Sure.
No, just
Just where it ended right now.
Just
At
to
the
where
tailgate.
they stand him
So he was
up.
hiding in the bed of a truck, somebody else's truck. I'm not sure if the truck had a camper cover. I couldn't see that. But he was in the bed of a truck. Probably just an open bed that he was laying down in. Love YouTube Premium. No ads. It's worth every penny to pay for that. I haven't heard him ask why they ran yet.
Go in the restroom. Any needles? No?
You gotta check me. Injuries?
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
You alright? Nothing hurts? Knee? You jump off fence, you gonna hurt yourself? Hey, you got anything coming in the house? 10-4. Do me a favor, relax right here.
Bro, got it. Over. Give him hand.
Is this the subject we're looking at?
Yes, it is. Fold your hand. Relax.
Hold on. I'm not really sure. Where's the weapon at, man?
Hey, where's the weapon?
Huh?
Where's the weapon?
Where is it, man? In the truck.
It's in the truck.
We're in the truck.
What's up?
All
right. No, wait.
Get him up. Put him right here. Hold on. Hey, have it in my unit. Where'd you leave it at?
Yeah, wait.
In the tailgate? Check the truck. Hey, Sarge.
Says not this one.
Tailgate on his truck.
Yes, sir, that's me. And I, like I said, I believe I take a lighter from his pocket.
So that's the a lighter?
Yes, sir, I believe
Okay.
so. Like,
Keep on going.
yeah, it's a lighter.
Hey, come on. Get him up. Go. Put him next to me. Sit him right here.
Tag, I'm almost out of leftovers. They do just about rip his shirt off.
Okay. It looks like a pair of keys, right? I mean, I didn't take that away from his pocket, sir.
I understand it.
Should have hidden the suitcase. I'm not sure if he's struggling or if there's just a lot of officers pulling at him. It seems to be, you know, some people want to hold him down and keep him from fighting, and other people are trying to get him to stand up so they can, feel what's in his
After
pockets.
everything finishes here in the garage, do you go back to the convenience store?
No.
To get your unit is what I'm saying.
The unit was already back. I had already moved it, sir. I'd already gone back to get the unit.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
And did you ever go back to the convenience store?
I did, sir.
And did you witness other troopers, or maybe yourself, I'm not too sure, searching Ortiz's truck?
No, sir. I never touched his truck. The truck was gone.
The truck was gone
Yes,
by the time you went back?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, there's testimony that he drove the prostitutes to the drug house
If those keys
and
are
gave them
house
money
keys
to
or
buy
car
drugs.
keys or office keys?
No, sir. I can't distinguish what they are. Like I said, like they look like keys, but I can't. I didn't touch them. I didn't grab them. I wasn't paying attention to that.
Okay.
No further questions.
Just briefly. I mean, when you make an arrest, typically, let's say you,
Yes, sir.
and you take any possessions from a suspect or someone in your custody, it's typical to log in whatever items you take from them, correct?
That's correct.
And you have an evidence login sheet or something like
Maybe
that.
somebody
Yes,
took
sir.
the lighter as a
So it's
memento.
documented somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Had a 22-pound turkey, and everyone ate about a pound of it. I have enough turkey left for turkey taco
If you know,
Tuesday
were-
night tonight.
Were the car keys considered evidence in this case?
No, sir. Like I said, I never touched the truck. I didn't get those keys out of the pocket. I didn't conduct an inventory on the vehicle or on Mr. Ortiz's anything that he has on possession on. I didn't touch any of that, sir. I didn't.
Tiffany, the key facts are going to be his testimony and what they found in the
Nothing
truck.
further. Thank you.
Mr. Down, your excuse.
Thank you.
By his testimony, I mean his confession. If his confession gets thrown out, and they can throw out the search of the truck and the evidence they found there,
Take call the
maybe
next witness, please.
the Erica's shirt,
Your Honor,
the purses from
the
2
state calls
victims,
investigator
and the gun.
Noe Gonzalez.
I mean, that's
to be,
most of the prosecution's case.
Examined by Mr. Josh Davila.
And is it Noel?
Noe.
You guys talking about food
Noe
has got me
Gonzalez,
hungry.
with a Z. Gonzalez.
That guy, it's probably going to come up later. Maybe they don't show up on the evidence sheet, or there was paperwork error. If he can draw out any inconsistencies or procedures
Good morning.
that
Can you please raise
deviated
your right
from
hand to be
the,
sworn in?
from
You
the
solemnly swear
normal,
the testimony you're going to give
he's going to
during this trial will be
highlight
the
that.
truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Thank you, sir. May take the witness stand.
Okay, so when they swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, wouldn't that enable them to say, I can't answer that question because you're asking me to say yes and no, and that's not the whole truth? Is that an argument for being able to expound an answer beyond the yes no the lawyers asked for?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good morning. Can you please state your name for the record?
Noé Gonzalez.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, what do you currently do?
I'm a task force officer assigned to Homeland Security Investigations.
Okay, and who are you employed with?
The Webb County District Attorney's Office.
Okay,
This guy talks really fast.
and if you can get a little closer to the mic so we can hear you, yeah. Does it move? Can you?
The mic?
Yeah,
Is
there we
that
go.
better?
Yeah, I hear you a lot better. Who do you currently work for?
The Webb County District Attorney's Office.
Okay, in 2018, September of 2018, to be specific, who were you working for then?
The Webb County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, what was your role at the time with the Webb County Sheriff's Office?
I was a criminal investigator assigned to CID and a SWAT member.
Okay, what were your duties as a member of CID and SWAT?
CID, we will take care of general crime throughout the daily basis. The patrol will get, and then we'll just follow up the cases. And as a SWAT member, we'll respond to any high-level threats, anything that a regular patrol officer couldn't take care of.
Do you have any specialized training or certifications as a SWAT member?
Yes, I do.
What's some of your background training?
Background training, just basic SWAT, and prior to that, military.
Okay.
He barely moves his mouth when he's talking, so it's even those of us that try to read lips.
So you mentioned
figure out what
military.
he's
Did you
saying
serve in the
are
military?
struggling.
I did.
Okay. How many years?
4 years.
Okay. Were you ever deployed?
I was.
How many tours?
1 tour to Afghanistan.
Okay. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you.
So, in this case, are you familiar with this case, the state of Texas versus Juan David Ortiz?
I am.
Okay. Did you assist in this case?
I was. I did.
Do you remember what your role in this case was?
Yes, I was assisting the lead investigator at the time with whatever task they had and they needed.
Now, if you know, who were the lead investigators for this case?
It was going to be Captain Calderon and Ranger E.J. Salinas from the
Okay.
DPS.
Were you part of the investigation in this case?
Not primarily, but I was involved in assisting the primary the investigator.
Okay. Did you ever go across any of the crime scenes?
The last one.
Okay. Do you remember the name of the last victim?
I do not remember the name of the last victim.
If I showed you some photos, would you be able to identify what's in those photos?
Yes.
You were at the scene of the last.
Yes, I was I believe one of the first investigators to arrive at the scene.
Okay. Permission to approach, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Ollie, are you still in chat? Did you, can you send me your,
23 is the last exhibit, yes.
can you send me something on the burner?
State's Exhibits 24 to 32. Okay. I'm showing you what I'm marking as State's Exhibit 24. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what is in that photograph at the time you saw it?
Yes.
Okay, that was State's Exhibit 24 for the record. State's Exhibit 25.
I just posted the burner phone number.
Same question.
Right
Do you
here.
recognize that photo?
I do.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that day?
Yes.
Had a typo in the other one.
Marking State's Exhibit 26. Same question. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that day?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 27. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that day?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 28. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 29. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes.
I just need Ollie to send me
State's
something,
Exhibit
so I've got
30.
something to send to her.
Do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 31. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes.
And now State's Exhibit 32. Same question. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Can you imagine watching this on 2 times speed?
Your Honor, I'm going to tender to defense counsel State's Exhibits 24 through 32 for any objections.
This would be nuts on a high-speed YouTube watch. Looks like we have a completely different group of people in the watching trial today. Last time we had, I think, people supporting the victim who testified, wearing shirts with the victim's pictures on it and things like that. Oh, there's a new lady who's sitting by the wall. She wasn't there before. It would be like Alvin and the Chipmunks. It would still be long with the recordings. It would take forever. Matthew says, I was watching that at 2 times speed to catch up. Yeah, but this witness particularly, the way he talks. He talks the way Londoners walk. We also should not be looking closely at his notepad. That's a no-no for the camera. If he's writing something, we should not be able to read it. That's generally prohibited. He's a lefty. What? I'm also a lefty. Don't hold that against him. That is not evidence. Okay, so defense doesn't like something in these pictures. Did he just check his pager? Is that what he did? Is he wearing a pager? I believe he has been held in custody. It's the California officer who's accused of shooting somebody. He got fired. The case we followed the preliminary hearing of. We had 2 days of preliminary hearing. We were supposed to have a third day, but he broke his leg. That officer is not in custody. He's been released. I think he's out on bond, but. That's Joseph Lamantia. But this guy, David Ortiz, I believe he is in custody. Seminars for court videographers, the how-to class, the what not to do mostly. I mean, it's a simple job, really. It's don't aim your camera at certain things, and you'll be okay. Turn it on, turn the audio on and off. It's as you can see, we've got cameras all over the place, even right in front of where they're deliberating. There's a pan-tilt zoom camera you'll see right there in front of the judge.
Now going back, you were at how many crime scenes in this case did you actually go and visit?
The last one.
Dear diary. It
You
was a
remember
bad
the
day
date?
in court today.
It
Everyone
was
thinks I'm
Saturday, I
guilty.
believe. Approximately, it was Saturday after the interview with Mr. Ortiz.
Okay, you mentioned an interview. What interview are you talking about at this point?
The interview that Captain Calderon and Ranger Salinas had with him.
Were you present during that interview?
I was not present. I was in the conference room observing the interview live.
So you were observing as it was going on?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I'm going to take you to the night of September 14th, going to September 15th. Were you present when Juan David Ortiz was apprehended?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity, or are you aware that there were body camera video recordings of that incident?
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to view that camera?
Yes.
Or that video? Okay. Your Honor, permission to approach?
Yes, the witness, yes.
I'm going to show you what's being marked as State's Exhibit 33. This is Trooper Hernandez's body cam. He previously testified. Have you seen this exhibit before?
Yes.
Have you viewed what is inside this exhibit?
Yes.
Do you yourself appear in this exhibit?
Yes.
Okay. How can you identify that you've actually viewed this?
Those are my initials and the date.
Okay. And
That's a high
tender your
bond.
defense counsel for any objection.
He'd need generally 10% of that, unless it's a 2.5 million cash bond. 10% from bonding company. He'll have to put up $250,000 to do that, which is that's requires like a house or something like that. He probably doesn't have that money. Broadway, great question. They have the gun that matches all the murders. They have his
Exhibit 33,
confession.
if you're offering, it's admitted at this time.
Yes, sir. State offers into that.
They have a witness testimony. They have some very strong evidence,
Before
but
I play this,
they're trying to
Mr.
get that
Gonzalez,
thrown out.
Can you explain to the jury how you became involved on that night?
Yes. Captain Calderon, my supervisor at the time, had instructed us to make it to San Bernardo Avenue, which is a busy street on Laredo, Texas, just to be on the lookout for the vehicle that was given to us at the time.
Get a little closer to the mic. I'm
Yes. Once we were at location, the troopers had encountered Mr. Ortiz at the gas station. I received a phone call from my supervisor, Captain Calderon, that the troopers were with Mr. Ortiz at the gas station.
Did you say his name was
So I
Captain
make
Calderon?
it southbound on San Bernardo. As I'm
Is that what
getting
he
there,
said?
I observed the whole ordeal happening, and we ended up at the hotel.
What hotel are you talking about?
Ava Hotel, I believe it was at the time, which is the tall building in I-35.
Okay, could you describe to the jury what the conditions that night were, the weather conditions?
Yes, I believe it was drizzling. It was wet. The streets were wet. It was just a very humid, wet night, I guess.
Now, as part of this investigation, you had mentioned that you were assisting the lead investigators. Is that correct? At this point, this night, how long or how many hours had you been up?
Since Wednesday that week. We had been already tracking the second victim. I'd been already located at the mile mark 25 on one of the highways on Webb County. And from that point on, we were already trying to track the individual.
Okay, as part of your investigation or as part of your assistance in this investigation, were you assigned to question any witnesses?
No.
Did you, on your own, go out and try to pick up any leads?
No.
Were you ever tasked by the investigators to go and speak to a certain individual or or that, just if you're tasked to speak to any certain individuals.
No.
Okay. Now, this night in particular, what kind of information did you have on Mr. Ortiz?
All we had was a vehicle and that he was a disabled veteran due to the license plates on the vehicle. That's all as far as we knew.
Okay. What about a possible risk?
Armed and dangerous at the time. We already knew that he had committed crimes with a firearm.
We're gonna object to
If it's hearsay or speculation.
He said we already knew that he had committed crimes. They can't say that.
What's your question again?
It was. Sorry. We were asking what information he relied on, I guess, to. Like, what information he had that night for Mr. Ortiz. But I can rephrase it.
Yeah, go ahead and rephrase it. I think
Was-
his response might have been
Right.
unresponsive.
Was there a be on the lookout placed for this individual?
Correct.
What information is in a bolo?
At this time was the make and model of the vehicle and license plates.
Okay, and is that information that it gets sent out to all law enforcement, or is that
I
just?
believe at that point it was just DPS and Webb County Sheriff's Office.
How did you know based on that he was armed and dangerous?
Due to the crimes that were committed, that were already committed previously.
Okay. I'm going to show you what we've already played previously, but
Lindsay approves.
I'm going to fast forward to the relevant part.
Is it the haircut? He's going to fast forward to the relevant part. This is what we should have done hours ago.
That's it, wait.
We're already evidence, and we were coming through.
I'm going to pause it here. Do you recognize the individual talking?
Yes.
Who's that?
That's me.
Okay, where are you at this point?
We're in the building next to the hotel, next to the ramp, the first building we cleared.
Okay, and why are you guys in that building?
Because troopers believe that he was in that location first, that they lost him there.
Did you find anything that led you to believe that he was there?
Just the troopers' information that they had lost him in that general area.
Did you find anything there?
No.
Okay, what if anything did you do next?
We began planning the move into the parking lot of the hotel.
Okay.
This building was the next. One of the neighbors heard noise in between this building and the next. So he's possibly tall guy.
Who was the first one here?
So real quick, I'm gonna go to the actual breach. When you guys enter the hotel, can you describe to the gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen of the jury what the formation is of the officers?
Do they actually kick
so
the door
at that
down?
point,
Do we get a
our commander
breach?
had told us to stack up. Stack up is a formation.
Oh,
a line.
yes.
Well, we just one
Glad
behind
you made it.
the other, and it was two separate stacks. One on one side of the parking lot, one on the other side of the parking lot. One leading, one rear, just in case of anything happening. The reactive stack could react to an engagement.
Yeah, this is SWAT.
How many people per stack?
At that time, we were using about 5 SWAT members, I believe, or 6, and then DPS assisted with their.
So they might kick in the door of the building where they
side.
thought he had gone in. We might get that on body cam, so we might get a breach. Cameraman's back, filming the back of Ortiz's head. But we're in the parking lot. They're not going to open any doors. Bummer.
Now, as part of your training, what is going on here in this video?
This video release, one of the troopers was clearing the vehicles that were left in the back because our main priority was what was ahead, the unknown, and everything in the back. The rest of the troopers or whoever was in the rear was taking care of the little small places that he could be hiding at.
Now, you mentioned your experience earlier, but in a situation like this, with a parking lot like that, what kind of dangers or risks could possibly encounter?
Yeah, at that point, he could be hiding anywhere. He could have concealment for us. So we pretty much have to have eyes all over the place. We don't know where he's at.
Okay,
I'm having buffering
Can you
issues.
describe the parking lot to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury? And what I mean is like the make.
Are you guys seeing any buffering
wooden
on your end?
structure? Is there concrete, stuff around? Is it well lit? Is it dark? How would
well
you
lit.
describe it that
Yes,
night?
it's a well lit parking lot. It's a 4-story parking lot, I believe. It's all concrete, and you have different levels, so you have to be keeping eyes going forward and to the rear.
I think we're covering the key people. We've covered the person who arrested or did the handcuffing, the person who made the initial stop at the gas station. I think this is going to give us probably the best view of possibly finding him in the truck. I don't think we're going to watch every individual's body cam. Yeah, it was just brief. I think it was the internet. It's Stephen Lee's fault. He's responsible for it today.
Real quick, before we get to this part, were you present when Juan David Ortiz was actually handcuffed?
Yes.
Okay, were you present when he was placed into the unit for transportation?
Yes.
Do you remember what vehicle, if any, he was found in when he was first?
It was in the back of a black pickup truck.
You want permission to approach the witness? Yes, sir. Showing you what's going to be marked as State's Exhibit 34.
Broadway, this judge is allowing all sorts of cameras. There are probably 15 cameras.
Do you
that I've
recognize
seen
this photo?
Yes.
in the court.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that night?
Yes.
And that's the judge's
Your
prerogative to do that.
Defense counsel for any objections?
So it doesn't surprise me he's letting reporters film. Hopefully they're following the guidelines. They've all had to
That
agree
was
to
34.
those.
The state now wishes to offer into evidence, Your Honor.
States 34 will be admitted into evidence at this point.
Stephen Lee is in charge of the
I'm gonna
internet
show you
today.
What's been
He
previously
was first in
admitted as
chat,
State's
so he
Exhibit
won that.
22. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Is that the same photo as State's Exhibit 34?
Yes.
Is that the truck in which you found Mr. Ortiz?
Yes.
Can I have permission to publish to the jury?
Yes, sir.
If you guys saw that little buffer,
President
that was
Jerry
actually on my
Ford,
end,
the State's
so you
Exhibit
shouldn't have to
22.
restart. And I have hardware that streams to the internet. It's not through a laptop. It's literally going through a video switcher. So it was an internet issue on my side, but it seems to be fixed. If there is a problem, I'll restart the stream.
So I'm going to continue playing the video, and I'll pause it when I have a question.
It's important that all these teams, as this stack, as they're moving, moves together and knows where everyone else is. Because if the guys who are clearing little spaces on the side see somebody and the front stack is too far ahead, they have to turn around.
Get down! Get down! Watch out, watch out, watch out.
He lowered his gun because officers walked in front of him.
Marshals, put safe.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there real quick. Can you identify yourself in this video?
Yes.
And I guess from your angle, can you tell us, based on the people that are there, which one you are?
The individual with the green shirt, I'm right in front of him. I'm wearing a black T-shirt and jeans. So I'm behind the middle SWAT member.
Are you wearing any gear?
Yes.
Are you wearing a helmet?
No.
Okay. So you actually grabbed Mr. Ortiz and pulled him out of the truck?
Correct.
Okay, you put your hands on him and everything?
Yes.
Did he resist?
No.
Okay. How did you find him? Like, what position was he in when he was found in the truck?
I wasn't. When the SWAT member opened the back of the truck, all I grabbed is one of his arms.
I don't believe they've
Pulled one of
released
his
it.
arms out, grabbed him, pulled him out. So he was face up at the time.
Laying down. Was he laying down?
I believe laying down. Correct.
Would you character if he was hiding? Basically?
Yes.
I got it. Yes. 10-4.
So now he's securing the area. He's looking away, making sure there's nobody else involved, or just keeping the area where the officers are focused on the suspect on the ground, making sure they're safe by covering their backs. Good teamwork here by this team.
Now, a lot's occurring off camera, but at this point, and we've seen a different angle of this, but at this point, what is going on with Mr. Ortiz?
So when we pulled him out, the first priority was to try to locate the weapon.
And why was that a priority to you guys?
Our safety. At that
Okay,
point.
so once, how did you do that? How did you go about trying to locate a weapon?
We physically pat him down, looking for the weapon. I believe I asked him, "Where's the weapon at?" And he said the truck. So initially we thought it was a pickup truck. We looked back and nobody could locate it. And then he stated, "No, my truck." So we knew that it was a truck at the gas station in Jefferson.
Okay, and you heard him say that?
Yes.
Did you relay that information to anybody?
Yes, to one of the, I believe it was Sergeant at the time, Felix Nunez.
Somebody's spitting.
Check the truck. Hey, Sarge, 32 tailgate on his truck.
When you say 32 tailgate on his truck, what does that mean for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
That's 32 is 10 codes for weapon. That's when we advised one of the sergeants that the weapon was in the vehicle on his truck.
The gas station. What's your name, bro? Huh? What's your name?
Now, we hear in the video someone ask him, "What's your name?"
Mm-hmm.
Is that standard
Well, miss, this is one of the prosecutors.
police practice when you're apprehending someone?
Yeah, so we try to possibly identify the individual. We already have a notion of who it is, but we want him to give us more of a positive identification of himself, either by picture or by name.
And what, if anything, did Mr. Ortiz respond to when you asked him?
I believe, I can't recall if he said his name or he started mumbling some other stuff at the time.
We could play it and refresh your memory if you'd like.
Thank you.
Guy with a cell phone is most likely a reporter. He has a laptop and a phone, so he's probably reporting locally.
Check the truck. Hey, Sarge, 32 tailgate on his truck. The gas station. What's your name, bro? Huh? What's your name?
Saying you already know. What's your name? You already know.
Were you able to hear his
I believe he says David.
Okay.
That's it, man.
Hey. Get him up. Get him up. Go. Slow down. Slow down.
Take a deep breath. Deep breath. Pockets.
Very careful.
Bradshaw. That's the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Toxic. We found out from Matthew that in Texas, it's actually the rule. They have to
Now, at this
question the
point, we
witnesses
see you
from
in
the
the
seated
video.
position.
What are you doing?
Unless they're
At
presenting.
that point, I think
something
they had
to
just
approach
finished
him.
patting him down, and what I was going to do is fix his handcuffs.
And why did you want to fix his handcuffs?
I observed that he was breathing heavily, and I believe he was it sounded like he was hyperventilating, so he was already not talking at that point, so I believe for his safety just to open up a second set of handcuffs to open his airway.
And what does the second set of handcuffs do?
So pretty much Mr. Ortiz is a tall guy in my view, a big guy, so at that point me adding an extra set of handcuffs would have opened his airway and it wouldn't be so tight on his back.
It keeps your hands from being so far close
aside
together
from
behind your back.
Applying the second
Allows
set
them
of
to be further
handcuffs,
apart,
did
so
you
it
search
loosens
Mr.
the
Ortiz
chest
there
so
while
he can
he's
breathe
standing?
better.
Yes, we
That's what they're
searched him
talking
for
about.
any injuries as well. I searched for any cuts, injuries, anything that medical at that point.
Did he sustain any injuries?
No.
What about any physical evidence?
I believe it was keys, phones, whatever he had in his pockets at the time.
What did you do with that stuff?
We put an evidence bag.
Okay. You mentioned keys and a phone. Is there anything else that you remember was recovered from him?
Cigarettes. I believe he wanted his cigarettes from the floor. He had asked for that. He had asked for. I don't recall anything else because the only thing I remember is having the bag and collecting the evidence, turning it into one of the supervisors.
You know, they were truck keys. How was keys off his keys?
Do you remember how the keys looked?
Oh, man.
Okay.
I do not recall.
look, we observed in the last video that his boots were removed.
can find
What
the
was the
link.
purpose of removing his boots?
Well, we're checking inside the boots to see if there was any evidence or anything that we needed to recover.
Injuries? You alright? Anything hurts? Knee, back? You jumped the fence and it hurt yourself? Hey, you got anything coming to us? 10-4. You okay? Gentlemen, nice, Rance. That's good. That's good, man. Teamwork, baby. That's
Teamwork. Fist bumps all around. I love that.
We got this guy.
So you're off camera.
If you're on my SWAT team, we're going to start pulling security at this time. Let's go.
We've got so many agencies there, many chiefs.
That was good shit, man.
Now, who took hold or who took custody of Mr. Ortiz?
We did. They'll work in the sheriff's office.
And speak up a little bit.
Sorry about that.
Who in particular, who one person was the one that basically was in charge of him?
That we transported?
Yes.
I took charge. I put him in the unit. It was
Okay. And why were you the one that took charge of him during
He
the
had asked
transport?
me to accompany him in the vehicle.
Okay. Was anyone else in the vehicle with you when you?
Sergeant Felix Nunez at the time, and I believe the deputy that was driving the vehicle.
Okay. Did you ever read him his Miranda rights?
No. So I
just
asked those
posted the
times
link for the mug.
We did Miranda
Who was
rights.
it that asked for
Sergeant
that?
Felix Nunez advised me no because we were not going
silly
to do any
writer.
questioning at the time until we secured him at a secure location.
Okay.
Thank you very much, by the way.
And you had testified earlier, you weren't the investigator on this case.
Correct. Yeah, I was.
What was your purpose solely at this point?
At this point, once SWAT got activated, my duties changed from CID to SWAT, and at that point was to apprehend the threat or eliminate the threat.
And as part of your training and experience, do SWAT members do the investigation or question the suspects?
No.
And who takes charge of that?
The investigator.
Okay. Are you aware if the transport
Hey, that guy, thanks for being here. Appreciate your input.
had video?
Yes.
You add a lot to this
Okay, have you had an
channel.
opportunity
so
to
thanks.
view that
Hope to have you back
Yes.
soon.
Your Honor, permission to approach the witness?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 35. Do you recognize what I'm showing you here?
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to view this?
Yes.
How do you, is what is depicted in this video a true and accurate depiction of what went on that night?
Glad I can help the show.
And how do you know that you actually viewed this video?
Initials and date. My initials and date.
Tendering to defense counsel for any objections, Your Honor.
I'm surprised that the defense has so much deliberation about each item. They clearly knew this was in evidence. This isn't being presented at court in the moment that they didn't know about. The reason they're approaching is because the jury's in the courtroom. If the jury wasn't there, they would just say, we have an objection. This brings in something that we feel is not, we're trying to keep this out. But this they can discuss without the jury hearing. If you look at the far right side of the screen, it just panned out. I was going to say, that's the camera I was talking about that's sitting right up there next to them. And those cameras have built-in audio capability. So it's important that the people running those cameras do not pick up this discussion, this sidebar. And so far, they've done a good job. We haven't had any hot mics up there. It's possible that they've turned that mic audio off completely, just for safety. Ollie says, Jared, I've been to Melbourne and sailed over to Adelaide, but missed Geelong. Darn, I wanted to say sail the southern rim too, but no, I haven't. Didn't have a year off. My son was in Adelaide for a while. Loved Australia. First ever taste of Popeye's chicken. Isn't it delicious? I had my first taste of Popeye's chicken on an Air Force base out west, and it's yummy. Suzanne, the coffee round is over. She's got everyone's coffee, just so you know. You ordered a cup. The reason why the camera zooms in like that and then zooms back out is to get a focus. So they zoom all the way in on a little something they can focus on, set the focus, and then zoom back out to get the full picture. It's just a little inside camera knowledge for you. Because they set manual focus. If you don't have manual focus, then anytime somebody walks in front of your camera, it will try to refocus on whoever it was. So if, you know, an attorney stands up or something, suddenly you're focused on his hair instead of the video behind him. Professionals always shoot in manual mode. Somebody's
this is loading up, let me just ask
pouring
you
a
some
drink
questions.
or something.
Did you ever question the defendant in the vehicle?
No.
Did he make any statements to you?
Yes.
What statements did he make to you?
I believe we were exiting the parking lot.
Sorry, let me just pause. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I
the
believe when
video
we were
starts
exiting the
playing.
parking lot, he overheard us asking about the weapon, and he stated by himself that the weapon was located in the driver's side, I believe, door. And then I relayed that information to my supervisor.
Let me ask you.
It doesn't have the pickle. It's not a sandwich.
How far would you say from the Hotel Ava to the sheriff's station that he was transported to? How far would you say that is?
Approximately several miles, I believe.
Without using police sirens and lights, how long would it take the normal person to get from that area to the station?
Possibly like 10 minutes.
And with,
It's like,
with
I don't know
lights
why
and
I
sirens,
always,
how
I
long
always
would
go
it
with
possibly take?
Less than 10 minutes.
code 3.
Are you familiar with the term trophy
Thanks for
shot?
ordering the mug, by
Yes.
the way, Silly Rider.
And
Appreciate
explain
that.
to ladies and gentlemen of the jury what a trophy shot is.
Trophy shot, we use that term in the military. That begins in the military. Once we have a high value target or somebody in the particular level you take a capture or killed, people usually take pictures to say we captured.
On this night in particular, was that phrase used?
Yes.
By who?
Mr. Ortiz.
And what exactly did he say?
I believe he had mentioned something about the VA, and that's when I expressed myself to him that I was a veteran as well. And that's when he started saying, take your trophy shot, take your trophy shot. And we explained to him that we don't do that kind of stuff here. And he continued to say, I've taken plenty of those.
What was your exact response to that?
We're not about that, bro.
Wow. Take your trophy shot. He's all about that. He's about the bragging. Melissa's mom's going to be in the courtroom every day for justice for her daughter. That's awesome. That's still hard, too. I mean, there's going to be some really, really painfully descriptive moments from this trial for her.
Did you ever suffer any injuries when you time in Afghanistan?
Yes.
Objection to relevance, Your Honor.
Staying at this time.
Do you recognize the images being shown on the screen right now?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what that's showing?
That is us putting Mr. Ortiz in the back of the patrol unit.
Now, from the point that he is handcuffed and placed on the sat down on the bed of the truck to this point, how long would you say that is?
15, 20 minutes, probably less.
Okay, were you with him the entire time?
Yes.
At this point, is he already double handcuffed?
Yes.
An officer rides back there with him.
You call you back, brother. I can talk to you right now.
To call you back, I was sitting with a killer. Hang on. Toxic, thanks for chasing those documents down. You guys are amazing over there on Discord. Can't wait to hear about that Quentin case and see what turns up.
Who's that second individual there?
At the front or in,
in the back?
In the back is Mr. Ortiz.
And the other person?
That's Sergeant at the time, Felix Nunez.
Who's the guy saying next to him?
It's gonna be Ramirez, Deputy Ramirez.
Oh, who's this guy?
That's me.
Okay, just trying to get.
For those that are new here, I love pickles. A sandwich is not a sandwich without a pickle.
Okay, you do a motion there. You tap him on the chest.
Mhm.
What was the purpose of that?
Continue to monitor his health, make sure that he was breathing and he was all right the whole time, the whole ride over.
He's like, I got you,
What,
man.
if anything, gave
Busted.
you that concern?
At that point, he's my responsibility. I gotta make sure that he's gonna get to point B healthy.
There is not much room back there. It does not look comfortable at all.
Jack. Jack.
Who are you telling that to?
Captain Calderon.
And what are you telling him again?
That my radio, I had left it with Sergeant Gonzalez.
I'm locked in the back of the car and I don't have my radio.
The 32 is in the tailgate of his truck.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to explain that. The 32 is in the tailgate of the truck. What does that mean?
Yeah, so at that point, I was under the impression that the weapon was in the back of his truck on the tailgate, and that's when he's gonna correct me voluntarily to tell me that it was in the inside of the driver's side of the door of the truck.
And who were you telling that to?
To Sergeant Felix Nunez.
Okay, were you talking to Mr. Ortiz?
No.
What? The 32? Oh. It's in the tailgate of the truck. Oh, no. Of your truck. Inside my truck.
Let's stop there. What does Mr. Ortiz tell you?
He corrects me to tell me where the weapon was at.
He tells you what exactly?
That it's inside his truck. Because he hears me say it's in the back of the truck, and then he corrects me and tells me it's inside his truck.
Inside the truck. Inside. And the door panel and the door panel and
Okay, you asked him something in Spanish. What was it that you asked him?
Where exactly? Donde metal, where exactly?
And what does he say?
In the door panel on the driver's side door.
Center console.
Oh, it's on the
They're going to be 232 weapons. 2 weapons.
Jackie, thanks for the mug order. Appreciate that.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. You make a gesture with your hand. You tap him and you make a gesture. What,
you went
what
with
are
the
you
blue.
doing there?
Yeah, he was breathing
It's
heavily at the
invisible for
time,
me
so I was
today, but-
concerned for his breathing. I didn't want him to hyperventilate, so I was just trying to tell him to control his breathing at the time.
Is that also a reason for the double handcuffs?
Correct.
I love that he took a picture of you as blackmail, Little Miss. That is something I would do.
Okay.
What are you asking him?
About the air is hitting him in the face, trying to cool him down because it was a hot night.
Thanks, Suzanne. You'll love them. They're awesome. Whoa. You see that bump? His head just about hit the camera. Is this how suspects get bruised up in the police car? They take it over the curb? You're right, Loomis. I'm the same way. Probably budgets. The cameras they use back there have to be secure, so inmates or suspects can't get access to them or access the wiring or something like that. So they're very expensive. There are not a lot of people who make these because there isn't a huge demand commercially for them. So the people that do make them sell them at a premium to the officers, to the police agencies. And it's expensive to get really good gear that that makes it look like a Hollywood movie. Lindsay, I think we know you've got a thing for this witness. He's plain bejeweled on his phone. He's texting somebody, guess who we caught? Let me take a selfie here real quick for a trophy pic. They did. They recorded with a potato.
Now we hear some voices in the back. Is anybody questioning Mr. Ortiz?
No.
What is Mr. Ortiz doing this entire time?
Sitting the whole time.
Checks on the air for him again.
Spanish something. What was it?
I asked him, is he hitting him in the face? And he said yes.
He needs the air hitting him in the face to cool him off. Seats are hard plastic, so I can imagine if handcuffed, you slide all over if not buckled in. Remember that woman who fell out and died? Oh, yeah. I imagine only smaller officers get picked for this side-by-side duty.
Unless there's any objections, or I'd like to fast forward towards the end of the...
No objections from us. No objections. Just go, go, go.
Can you open the doors?
Can you let me out, please? These doors do not open from the inside.
What?
Now you told him something there before you exit. What was it that you told him?
I couldn't hear. I don't recall.
Go back.
Can you open the doors? What?
Did you catch that?
Like, Mr. Ortiz?
What you told him?
Oh, that I'll get him on the other side right now.
Okay.
I need to get up. I need to get up.
You can see the sweat on the officer's face. It is hot in there, and he's worried about the other guy getting air on his face. It's a good officer there. The suspect, he's making sure the suspect's treated properly.
Where are
even
you
when he
guys
is
at this point?
not getting the
At
same
the
treatment.
substation.
3151 County, District 43, going along and down. One County Sheriff SWAT team has cleared the area. We'll move to the substation. We're the right for something.
Kaylee, it's sort of like areas in Canada where two languages are spoken. It's very, very common for somebody to know at least some of both languages. They call it Spanglish, but we'll see that throughout this trial, I think. I think most law enforcement down there probably has some experience with Spanish.
Now, where did you escort Mr. Ortiz after you pulled him out of the vehicle?
To the interview room.
How far from that location that we last saw to the interview would you say it is?
Approximately 20, 30 feet.
In terms of time, how many seconds would it take you to walk there?
No more than 10 seconds.
Were you with Mr. Ortiz the entire time from the walk from the car to the interview room?
Yes.
And you had stated earlier that you watched the entire interview.
I don't think you will.
Okay. From that point, did he say anything to you?
No.
From the time you pulled him out, everything we've seen to the time you pulled him out to when he enters the interview, did he say anything to you?
No.
Did he ask for an attorney?
No.
Did he say that he didn't want to speak to you?
No.
Did you initiate any type of questioning?
No.
What, if anything, did you do next once you got him inside the substation?
We took him to the interview room, and I believe he needed to go to the restroom shortly after. We took him to the restroom and switched the handcuffs to the front of his body instead of the back.
And why do you switch the handcuffs to the front instead of the back?
Comfort.
Whose comfort?
His comfort.
Okay. Do you remember what Mr. Ortiz looked like that night?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, do you see him in the courtroom?
In the courtroom?
Did you see Mr. Ortiz
yes.
in the courtroom? Can you identify him with a piece of
Yes,
clothing?
individual sitting right there.
Okay. Once you get into the interview room, and you already mentioned you didn't interview him, but did you sit with him?
Yes, for a brief second.
Okay, did you provide him with anything? Any food, water, bathroom breaks?
I believe we gave him a water.
Okay.
And a bathroom break.
Where were you in the station while the actual interview was being conducted?
In the conference room.
And where's the conference room in relation to that room where the interview is?
About three more rooms to the away from the interview.
And how is it that you're able to see what's going on in that room?
We have a TV that's monitoring the interview room, and it's live feed as they're conducting the interview.
If you remember, how long was Mr. Ortiz interviewed for?
It was a while. I don't know exactly, but it was a while.
Was it more than 6 hours?
Yes, I can't recall.
Okay. At this point, how long had you been up?
Already been up for more than 42 hours, 48 hours.
Mr. Chris, I think they still do.
Who else was in the room where you were watching the interview take place?
It was, I believe, different agencies were there at that point. I think it was already established that he was Border Patrol. And at that point, Border Patrol had already made it to our location, DPS, Webb County.
I believe this witness is a ventriloquist on the side as well.
If I recall right. And administration was there.
Now, as this interview is going on, what, if anything, towards the tail end of the interview sparks your interest, basically?
Yeah, he mentioned.
I'm going to object at this point. Relevance, Your Honor.
Rephrase as far as what sparks your interest.
Okay, so what happens at the end of the interview?
Yes, at the end of the interview,
we're hearing the
Mr.
one
Ortiz,
prosecutor prompt the other one.
To relevance at this time.
It's completely relevant.
What happens at the end of the interview?
Well, he's going to hearsay. If he's going to say something that Ortiz said at this time, it's not relevant yet, Your Honor.
I don't know what he's going to say.
Relevancy is the interview
laid
itself
the
is obviously relevant,
foundation.
Your Honor, and it's Mr. Ortiz.
Can we approach, Your Honor?
Okay, so at any time, this is where we expect the defense to start fighting as we're getting the information from this interrogation into the courtroom as evidence. Oh man. Okay, I need the judge to break because you guys are talking about food and my stomach is grumbling and I've just been drinking water all morning. I'm ready for lunch. But I can see most of these law enforcement officers just whipping out a lasso and being able to catch a suspect by the ankle. See, everybody's walking up there. Hey, Kelly, we've had very different manners of speaking in this trial already. The first witness was very slow and deliberate, almost painstakingly slow. The second, I mean, this one is very quick, so we've had both spectrums.
So I was asking you about the end of the interview. Did you hear the end of the interview?
Yes.
You were there present for the interview. Okay. What, if anything, did Mr. Ortiz say in that interview?
That there was one last victim.
Okay. What did you do when you heard that there was one last victim?
We stepped to the hallway waiting for instructions. Captain Calderon comes out, gives us the go-ahead, and we make it to mile marker 13.
Okay. And what did you find out in mile marker 13?
The last victim.
Okay. Did you do anything aside from go to the last victim scene after this point as part of this investigation?
Secure the site, and that was it.
What did you see when you got to the site?
Well, we arrived to the location.
Your Honor. What did you see? What did you observe when you got to the last location?
Yes, we arrived at the location. We specifically been told where the body was at. We observed an individual face down with what appeared to be a wound into the back of the head, and no life.
About what time was it when you got there to that scene?
It was in the morning already. It was morning time.
Okay, and what would you describe the weather conditions
It was
as?
still humid and wet. I believe it was still drizzling and raining at the time.
In relation to the city of Laredo, where was this body found?
Mile marker 13 on the northbound right side of the highway, next to a berm of dirt.
Is that within the city limits or outside or right on the edge?
I believe city limits.
Okay. Would you consider that an outskirts of the town?
Yes.
We're past the witness at this time,
Well, it's about
Lunchtime.
noon already. So as I mentioned, we're going to recess close to noon. So I'm going to go ahead and excuse the jury for lunch. I'll ask the jury to be back by 1:15. And again, a reminder not to discuss the facts of the case, not to watch any news accounts regarding this case. And you're excused for lunch.
Okay, so we will be back. We will be back as well. We're going to take a little bit of a break. I have got to go eat a sandwich, or else I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna pass out. I need my sustenance.
Same instructions for the attorneys. 1:15, please.
1:15.
1:15.
All right. I think that's it. Okay. I think part one's in the books. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up so everyone can go get lunch. Appreciate everyone who's been here today. Appreciate all of you guys, both the people who have done super chats and donated. So many of you have ordered mugs today. It's awesome. I love that. Just appreciate you guys being part of the community and making it awesome and what it is. So thank you very much. We will be back. I'll be back probably 15 minutes before court goes into session. So we basically got an hour to eat. We'll be back 15 minutes early just so we can catch it, just in case the judge is back early like he was this morning. But the jury's not going to be back until 1:15 Texas time. So thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch. We will see everybody later. Come back, bring a friend. It's always more fun when you bring a friend. So thank you guys. We'll be back for part two here in a little bit.